Night is not a black curtain lowered over life, my friend. Night is a secret writing room. It is the hour when the outer page grows dim and the inner page is made ready. Men think the day is where life is decided, because the day is loud. The day has footsteps, letters, voices, obligations, figures, errands, decisions, and all the visible motions of the world. But I tell you, the night is where the self is rewritten. The night is where the old name may be erased and the new name may be impressed. The night is where the unseen hand of consciousness takes up the pen and writes upon the deep mind what tomorrow shall begin to obey. You are lying here now in the quiet, and perhaps no one knows how tired you are. Perhaps you have carried the same financial story through too many days. Perhaps you have awakened with hope and gone to sleep with the old weight pressing upon the chest. Perhaps you have told yourself, I will believe this time, and yet when the room grew still, the same inward voice returned, the voice of lack, the voice of delay, the voice that says, not yet, not enough, not for me, not now. And because it came so often, you may have mistaken it for truth. But tonight, you are not here to think harder. You are not here to struggle with another method. You are not here to chase money in the imagination as though money were a frightened animal running from you. You are here to let a command sink deeper than thought. You are here to fall asleep under a new decree. You are here to allow one inner sentence to descend below the surface mind, below argument, below fear, below calculation, until the subconscious receives it as law. The wealth command is not a phrase of force. Remember this from the beginning. It is not a shout sent into the dark. It is not a demand made from poverty. It is not the cry of a man standing outside the door, begging to be admitted. A true command is not desperate. A true command is the calm authority of being. It is I am joined to feeling. It is the inward sentence accepted before sleep until the deeper mind no longer treats it as a wish, but as an instruction. And the command is simple. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Let it be simple enough for the night. Let it be gentle enough for sleep. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. These words are not meant to excite the mind into strain. They are meant to soothe the mind into assumption. They are not meant to make you reach. They are meant to let you rest. For when you truly know you are provided for, you no longer chase. When you know money comes naturally, you no longer beg the world for proof. Before we go deeper, take one small outer action that mirrors your inner decision. Subscribe to this channel, not as a casual habit, not as a mere movement of the hand, but as a quiet sign to your own subconscious that you are choosing to return to this law, to water this seed, to sleep again and again in the state of wealth until the old command loses its throne. Let this small act become a symbol of agreement, a simple outward yes to the inward life you are now assuming. And if you have not done it yet, subscribe now as a second quiet yes. Not to me as a personality, not to a sound in the room, but to the state you are entering. Let it say within you, I am willing to be taught by the night. I am willing to return to the command. I am willing to let the old financial self fall asleep and the new self awaken. Do it gently and then let it be finished. We will not disturb the night with that again. From now on, the work is inward. Now return to the quiet. Do not rush the command. Do not try to believe it with the forehead. Do not force the mind to become convinced by effort. That is the old way. The old way thinks that if it presses hard enough, life must yield. But the subconscious is not impressed by pressure. It is impressed by acceptance. The old way tries to control the how. The new way assumes the end. The old way says, I must make money come. The new way says, I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Perhaps you have tried before. Perhaps you have tried to believe. Perhaps you have closed your eyes and imagined wealth, but then opened them again to the same old fear. Perhaps you have spoken affirmations, but beneath the words there remained a trembling sense that nothing had changed. Perhaps you have tried to control the path, naming the person, the hour, the manner, the road, the exact form, and when life did not move according to the little map of the conscious mind, you felt abandoned again. But listen to me carefully. This is not failure. This is programming. The mind has simply received the old command too many nights. A man may speak abundance in the morning and still sleep in lack at night. A woman may declare prosperity in the day and yet carry worry into the pillow as her final prayer. And the subconscious, faithful to what is felt, receives not the beautiful sentence spoken for a moment, but the state worn most deeply. If night after night one sleeps as the one who lacks, then lack has been commanded, though no one intended to command it. If night after night one sleeps as the one who fears tomorrow, fear has been planted, though the lips asked for peace. You were not taught this when you first learned to worry. You were not told that your inner speech before sleep was creative. You were not told that the last feeling carried into the deep is a seed. You were taught to look outward, to measure, to calculate, to prepare for loss, to call anxiety responsibility, to call fear wisdom, to call the visible world final. And so you lay down many nights with the old command written across the heart, I am not provided for. I must struggle. I must find the way alone. Money is difficult. Life does not remember me. Tonight that command begins to lose its power. Not because you fight it, not because you become angry with it, not because you condemn yourself for having slept in it before. Condemnation is only another state. Shame is only another chain. Tonight the old command loses its power because a new command is being introduced softly, patiently, repeatedly, until it becomes more natural than fear. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Let the words approach you like a lamp being carried into a darkened room. Do not seize them. Let them come near. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Notice that the command does not say, I will be provided for if I struggle enough. It does not say, money may come if the outer world approves me. It does not say, I am trying to become wealthy. No, it speaks from the end. It speaks from the throne of being. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Already. That word removes waiting. Already means the state is not postponed until tomorrow. Already means you do not need the senses to grant permission before consciousness enters the end. Already means the inner fact is selected now. Already means the seed is planted before the tree is seen. Provided for. Those words remove abandonment. They tell the body it does not carry life alone. They tell the heart that it is not outside the care of the law. They tell the mind it does not need to run through every possible road tonight. Provided for means supply may take many forms. Money, help, opportunity, cancellation, favor, work, gifts, ideas, remembered debts, unexpected turns, and open doors. The form is not your burden tonight. The state is your only task. Money comes naturally. Those words remove the chase. They return money to its proper place. Money is not your master. Money is an effect. Money is a servant of state. Money moves naturally toward the consciousness that is no longer inwardly begging, no longer inwardly exiled, no longer. Money comes naturally when the state of being supplied becomes natural within you. This is the wealth command, not a magical phrase in the shallow sense, not a sound that works while the heart remains contrary. It is a decree of being. It is a state expressed in words. It is the inner self saying, this is who I am now. This is where I sleep tonight. This is the atmosphere I carry into the deep. And once the subconscious receives a state as natural, life must begin to reorganize around it. The world you meet is not separate from the state you occupy. The outer world is the visible garment of invisible assumption. If you sleep in the assumption of pressure, pressure finds its forms. If you sleep in the assumption of lack, lack finds its witnesses. If you sleep in the assumption of being provided for, provision must begin to find its roads. The law is no respecter of persons. It respects states. It gives form to what is accepted within. So tonight, do not ask, how will the money come? That question belongs to the old command. It assumes separation. It assumes uncertainty. It assumes that the conscious mind must become the architect of every bridge. But the bridge is not built by worry. The bridge is built by the deeper mind in obedience to the assumed end. Your work tonight is not to build the bridge. Your work is to sleep in the command from which the bridge forms. The old self may still want to help by worrying. It may whisper, think about tomorrow. Think about the figure. Think about what has not happened yet. Think about the danger. Think about the delay. Let it whisper, and do not be troubled. You are not required to silence every old voice by force. You are required only to stop crowning it as king. You are required only to return gently and faithfully to the new command. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. If fear says, but I do not see it, answer softly, the seed is planted. If doubt says, but I do not know how, answer softly, the bridge is forming. If memory says, but it has not happened before, Answer softly, I am not living from memory tonight. If the old financial self says, I am behind, answer softly, I am already provided for. If the old voice says, money is hard, answer softly, money comes naturally to the state I occupy. This is not argument, it is replacement, it is the changing of the command, it is the old inscription being overwritten by a new one. And night, my friend, is the sacred writing room where this overwriting may occur most deeply. As the day fades, the world loses some of its authority. The facts that seemed so solid in the afternoon begin to soften in the darkness. The conscious mind, which defended the old story with evidence, grows tired. The senses withdraw. The body begins to belong less to the outer world and more to the inner one. This is the hour when a command may pass the gate. This is the hour when a man may stop being what the day told him he was and begin being what imagination knows he can be. You are not here to perform wealth. You are here to sleep as wealth. There is a great difference. Performing wealth is strain. Sleeping as wealth is assumption. Performing wealth tries to impress the world. Sleeping as wealth impresses the subconscious. Performing wealth says, look at me. Sleeping as wealth says, I am. Performing wealth is often noise. Sleeping as wealth is quiet power. And wealth, in this teaching, is not merely coins, notes, possessions, or outer display. Wealth is the state of being supplied. Wealth is the state of not being hunted by tomorrow. Wealth is the state of having room to breathe. Wealth is the state of knowing the way opens. Wealth is the state in which money is natural. Help is natural, favor is natural, guidance is natural, and receiving is natural. When that state is accepted within, the forms must come. Perhaps you have believed that wealth must begin with an outer increase. But I tell you, wealth begins with an inward change of identity. The outer increase is the shadow. The inward state is the body casting it. Do not chase the shadow. Change the body. Do not beg the mirror. Change the face before it. Do not plead with the echo. Speak from the end. The echo must answer. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Let this command be the first new line written in the night. Let it be repeated not as pressure, but as a lullaby of authority. Let it move through the chest, through the breath, through the hands, through the quiet spaces of the mind. Let it find the old places where lack has been stored, not to attack them, but to replace them. Where the body has said, I am not safe, let the command say, I am provided for. Where the mind has said, I must know every step, let the command say, the bridge is forming. Where the heart has said, I am forgotten, let the command say, I am remembered by life. Where the old story has said, money does not come to me, let the command say, money comes naturally. And do not be disturbed if it feels gentle. The most powerful things are often gentle. A seed is gentle, breath is gentle, sleep is gentle, the dawn is gentle, yet no darkness can prevent it. A true assumption does not need to shout, it only needs to be accepted. A command of consciousness does not need violence, it needs naturalness. Tonight you are learning the first secret of this sleep work. You do not command wealth by chasing money. You command wealth by becoming the one who is provided for. You command wealth by falling asleep from the end. You command wealth by giving the subconscious a new identity and allowing sleep to seal it. There is no need to hurry. The night is not asking you to solve your life in one thought. It is asking you to choose what you will carry into the deep. Will you carry the old command or the new one? Will you carry lack or provision? Will you carry fear or the feeling that the way is already opening? Will you carry the question or the answer? Tonight you will not chase money. Tonight you will not beg for money. Tonight you will not force money. Tonight you will not sleep as the one who lacks. Tonight you will learn how to fall asleep under a new inner command. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Let this be the doorway. Let this be the first sentence of the new self. Let this be the beginning of the rewriting. The day may have spoken one story, but night is not the end of the day. Night is the room where the self is rewritten. And as you enter that room, slowly, softly, inwardly, you will learn to sleep not as the one who waits for wealth, but as the one for whom wealth has already begun. Now, my friend, before a new command can be received, we must discover the command that has already been ruling from within. For every man lives under an inner command, whether he knows it or not. No one walks through life without one. No one meets the world in a naked state of consciousness. There is always some assumption seated within, some quiet decree, some inward sentence that has been repeated so often that it no longer sounds like a sentence. It sounds like you. It sounds like life. It sounds like truth. This is the mystery. Men think they are free because they are not speaking aloud, yet within them an unseen voice gives orders. They think they are choosing each day by reason, by effort, by decision, by outward necessity. But behind all these movements, there is a ruling state. Behind the hands, behind the speech, behind the choices, behind the fears and hopes of the day, there is a command. And the outer world, being obedient to consciousness, reflects the ruler within. Perhaps the command has been, I am struggling, not said once, not merely spoken in passing, but felt as a fact. I am struggling. I struggle to receive. I struggle to keep. I struggle to rise. I struggle to be free. Perhaps you have worn this sentence for so long that the body knows it before the mind repeats it. The shoulders know it. The breath knows it. The chest knows it. The hands know it. And because it has been worn as identity, the subconscious has received it as law. Perhaps the command has been, I am behind. Behind in time. Behind in money. Behind in life. Behind others. Behind the place where you thought you should be. And when a man sleeps in the feeling of being behind, he rises into a world that seems to run ahead of him. The day feels like a pursuer. Obligations seem to arrive before provision. Time itself appears as an enemy. Yet the true cause is not time. The true cause is the command accepted within, I am behind. Perhaps the command has been, I am not good with money. A phrase spoken casually, perhaps, but accepted deeply. And if accepted, it becomes more than a description. It becomes an order. It teaches the subconscious to arrange confusion, tension, loss, delay, or discomfort around money. It makes money feel like a stranger in the house of the mind. It makes receiving feel uncertain and keeping feel difficult. Then the outer world seems to confirm the command, and the command grows stronger by the very evidence it has produced. Perhaps the command has been, money is hard, hard to earn, hard to keep, hard to receive, hard to speak about, hard to ask for, hard to enjoy, hard to deserve. That little sentence may become a stone placed before every door. And because money is assumed to be hard, the path toward it becomes hard in experience. Not because money has a nature of hardness, but because consciousness has clothed it in hardness and then met its own assumption on the road. Perhaps the command has been, nothing ever comes easily to me. This command is subtle and sorrowful. It may sound like humility. It may sound like realism. It may sound like the testimony of a life that has seen difficulty, but if it is accepted as identity, it becomes creative. It makes ease feel suspicious. It makes help feel temporary. It makes good news feel unlikely. It makes the mind expect a hidden cost behind every blessing. And what the mind expects as natural, the world begins to mirror. These commands are rarely formal affirmations. A man does not usually rise in the morning, stand before the mirror, and deliberately say, I command myself to struggle today. A woman does not usually kneel by her bed and consciously pray, let me feel behind, let money be hard, let nothing come easily. No, the old command is more hidden than that. It lives as mood, it lives as assumption, it lives as repeated inner conclusion. It lives in the way the body reacts before a letter is opened, before a payment is made, before a decision is taken, before tomorrow has even arrived. The old command may be a sigh. It may be the tightening of the stomach when money is mentioned. It may be the way the mind says, here we go again. It may be the feeling that good things happen to others but must be fought for by you. It may be the habit of expecting delay. It may be the quiet shame that appears when you desire more. It may be the old inward whisper, this is just how life is for me. And because it is worn as identity, the subconscious receives it. The subconscious does not need ceremony. It does not wait for you to speak in perfect phrases. It receives your habitual state. It receives the mood you return to. It receives the assumption you sleep in. It receives the conclusion you feel to be true, even when no one hears it. If you have lived under the command of lack, it has not always been because you chose it with intention. More often you wore it unknowingly, and what is worn unknowingly is still worn. So I ask you now to see the inner kingdom. Imagine consciousness as a kingdom, and in the center of that kingdom there is a throne. Upon that throne sits the ruling command. If the old king is lack, then every messenger in the kingdom moves according to lack. If the old king is struggle, then even opportunities are received through struggle. If the old king is fear, then every road seems to pass through fear. If the old king is I am behind, then the kingdom arranges itself in haste, pressure, and pursuit. You may desire wealth, you may pray for wealth, you may imagine wealth, you may speak of wealth. But if the old command of lack remains seated upon the throne, the kingdom obeys lack. Desire may stand outside the palace gates, beautifully dressed, holding a promise. But the gods obey the king within. The fields obey the king within. The roads obey the king within. The treasury obeys the king within. And if the king says there is not enough, then the kingdom continues to organize around not enough. This is why many have felt divided. They desire one thing and expect another. They speak abundance and feel lack. They imagine freedom and sleep in pressure. They say, I want a new life, but the throne is still occupied by the old command. The world does not reflect the wish that visits occasionally. It reflects the ruler that remains enthroned. It reflects the state that feels natural. It reflects the identity that has been accepted. Yet I do not say this to make you accuse yourself. Never use the law as a rod against your own back. You did not come here to be condemned. You came here to awaken. If the old command has ruled, it has ruled because at some point it was allowed to sit down within you. Perhaps it entered through fear. Perhaps it entered through childhood words. Perhaps it entered through the atmosphere of a household where money was always spoken of with anxiety. Perhaps it entered through disappointment, through loss, through watching others struggle, through being told what was possible and what was not. Perhaps it entered through failure or shame or repeated pressure until the mind concluded, this is who I am. A child hears more than words. He hears moods. He hears fear in the room. He hears the way the adults speak when money is low. He hears the sigh, the tension, the worry before sleep. He may not understand figures, but he understands atmosphere. And long before he has reasoned about wealth, he may already be wearing a command. Money is hard. There is never enough. Life is uncertain. One must struggle. Do not expect too much. Be careful. Be afraid. Prepare for disappointment. And then the child becomes the man, or the child becomes the woman, and the old atmosphere still speaks. The outer circumstances may have changed, but the inner command remains. It whispers at night. It appears when a desire arises. It says, remember who you are. Remember how life works for you. Remember that money is difficult. Remember that you are behind. And because it speaks with the familiarity of long habit, the listener may mistake it for wisdom. But familiarity is not truth. A prison may become familiar to the prisoner, but that does not make it home. A heavy garment may be worn for years, but that does not make it your skin. A command may rule for a long time, but that does not make it eternal. The throne can be occupied by another. The old king can be removed. The kingdom can obey a new decree. Tonight, we do not fight the old command. Fighting often gives the old command more life. If you wrestle lack, you are still occupied with lack. If you hate fear, you are still feeding fear with attention. If you panic because an old sentence arises, panic becomes the new state. Therefore, we approach the old command gently. We recognize it. We name it. We see that it has been ruling. And then, without violence, we replace it. You may say inwardly, I see the command that has been running my life. I see that I have felt myself struggling. I see that I have worn the feeling of being behind. I see that I have called money hard. I see that I have expected difficulty. I see it now, and because I see it, I no longer need to be ruled by it. There is great power in seeing without condemnation. What is unconscious rules as fate. What is seen can be changed. The moment you see the old command as a command, it loses the dignity of truth. It becomes a garment, not a self. It becomes an old king, not the rightful ruler. It becomes a state that can be left. The old command says, I am struggling. The new command says, I am already provided for. The old command says, I am behind. The new command says, the way is already open. The old command says, I am not good with money. The new command says, money comes naturally to the state I occupy. The old command says, money is hard. The new command says, supply moves easily through appointed channels. The old command says, nothing ever comes easily to me. The new command says, good comes naturally because I dwell in the state of being supplied. Do not shout these new commands. Let them sit upon the throne. A king does not need to scream to be obeyed. Authority does not become stronger because it is loud. True authority is quiet. It is settled. It does not beg the servants of the kingdom to believe it. It simply occupies the throne, and the kingdom gradually reorganizes around the ruler. So tonight, the new command must be enthroned, not as a hope standing at the gate, not as a wish knocking timidly at the door. It must be allowed to sit in the center. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Let this be the ruler now. Let this be the decree. Let this be the command that the knight receives. If the old command rises, do not fear it. It may rise because it has ruled a long time. An old king does not always leave the throne without murmuring. It may say, but look at the evidence. It may say, but remember the past. It may say, but you have tried before. Let it speak like a fading echo in a corridor. You need not answer every argument. You need only return to the new ruler. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. The kingdom must have one king. Consciousness cannot sleep in two states at once. You cannot fall asleep as the one who is abandoned and the one who is provided for in the same deep sense. You may have passing doubts, yes, passing thoughts, passing memories, but the state you accept, the state you return to, the state you wear into sleep, that is the ruler. That is the command. Let the old king be recognized. Tonight, look upon him without hatred. See the garments he wore: fear, delay, pressure, shame, exhaustion. The belief that money is difficult, the belief that you are always late, the belief that you must earn rest through struggle. See him, and then gently remove the crown. This is not your true ruler. Your true ruler is I am. And tonight, I am is not married to lack. I am is not clothed in struggle. I am is not seated beneath the name behind. Tonight, I am wears provision. I am wears wealth as a state of being. I am wears the command, I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. When this command sits upon the throne, the kingdom begins to change. At first, perhaps only the inner air changes. The body softens a little, the breath becomes less guarded, the chest releases its old defense, the mind stops running so far ahead. These are signs of a new ruler. Do not despise them because they are small. The first sign of spring may be only a softening in the earth, yet the whole season is changing. Then, as the command is accepted night after night, the outer kingdom must respond. A thought appears, a door opens, a letter arrives, a person speaks, an opportunity forms, a burden is removed, money comes by a natural road, the bridge unfolds, and when it happens, it may seem ordinary to the outer mind, but you will know. You will know the throne was changed first. The world reflects the ruler within. If lack is enthroned, the world mirrors lack. If pressure is enthroned, the world mirrors pressure. If provision is enthroned, the world must begin to mirror provision. The mirror has no power to create its own face. It reflects the face before it. The world has no power to define I am unless I am accepts the definition. Tonight, I am accepts a new definition. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Let this be more than, let it be the new king in the inner kingdom. Let it sit quietly, let it rule while you sleep. Let it command without noise. Let the servants of the subconscious hear it. Let the chambers of imagination receive it. Let the roads of life begin to arrange themselves around it. You do not need to know how the kingdom will change. You do not need to inspect every corridor tonight. You do not need to awaken the conscious mind and ask it to plan the bridge. The king gives the decree, and the kingdom obeys in ways the king does not personally supervise. So give the decree, then rest. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. This is the new command. This is the new ruler. This is the new name. And tonight, the old command will be recognized, not fought, and then replaced. Recognized as old programming, not fought with fear, not judged with shame, simply seen, gently dismissed, and replaced by the command of provision. For the night is the writing room, the throne room, and the chamber of reception. And as you move deeper into it, the old ruler loses his crown, and the new command begins to reign. Now, my friend, you must understand why so much effort has not changed the deep. For many have tried to reprogram themselves by force, and because they tried by force, they remained in the very state they wished to leave. They strained to believe, they strained to imagine, they strained to feel wealthy. They repeated words with the pressure of one who secretly fears that nothing is happening. And all the while, beneath the effort, there remained a quiet confession: I am not there yet. This is the hidden trouble with effort when effort is born from lack. It may look noble, it may feel serious, it may appear disciplined, but if the feeling beneath it is, I do not have it, and therefore I must make it happen, the subconscious receives not wealth, but absence. It receives not possession, but pursuit. It receives not completion, but trying. The deeper mind is impressed by the state, not the amount of labor performed upon the surface. A man may spend hours attempting to become wealthy in imagination, yet if every hour is filled with anxiety, the subconscious receives anxiety. A woman may repeat, I am rich, I am rich, I am rich, yet if the body trembles with the fear of being poor, the subconscious receives the trembling. One may visualize with intensity, yet if the visualization is done as a remedy for panic, the panic may be the louder command. The deeper mind does not count repetitions as men count coins. It receives what feels real. This is why I do not ask you tonight to fight your mind. I do not ask you to wrestle thought into obedience. I do not ask you to strain the imagination until it becomes tired. The waking mind often believes that strain is sincerity. It says, if I am serious, I must push harder. But in the world of consciousness, pushing often reveals that one still feels outside the door. The one who is inside does not beat upon the door. The one who is already in possession does not beg possession to arrive. The one who has accepted the end rests in the end. Effort says, I must become. Sleep receives, I am. Effort says, I must make wealth come. Sleep receives, I am. Effort says, I must make wealth come. Sleep receives, I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Effort says, I am not yet the one. Sleep receives, I am the one now. Now do not misunderstand me. I do not speak against right action, nor against devotion, nor against persistence. But there is a difference between persistence in the state and strain from the old state. Persistence is quiet loyalty to the end. Strain is fear dressed as labor. Persistence says, I return to what I know is true. Strain says, I must force this to be true because I do not feel it is true. One is rooted in assumption. The other is rooted in absence. You have perhaps known this in your own body. When you try too hard to believe, the forehead tightens, the jaw becomes fixed, the breath becomes shallow, the heart begins to wait anxiously for proof. And then, after trying, you may look outward and ask, has anything changed? That question itself often reveals the old command. It says, I am still outside, I am still waiting, I am still measuring, I am still uncertain. And the subconscious, receiving uncertainty as the living state, continues the old program. But sleep is different. Sleep does what strain cannot do because sleep lowers the guard of the waking mind. During the day, the mind is a lawyer arguing for appearances. It brings forth evidence. It says, look at this condition, look at this figure, look at this delay, look at this memory, look at what happened before. It compares you with others. It calculates. It searches for proof. It checks whether the outer world has changed. It watches the seed as though watching could make it grow. It asks how, when, through whom, and by what road. The daytime mind is useful in its own place, but it is often a poor servant of faith. It wants visible proof before it will grant inward permission. It wants the harvest before it will allow the seed to be planted. It wants the bridge before it will accept the destination. It wants the money before it will feel supplied. But the law works in the reverse order. The state must be accepted first, and the world follows. At night, the conscious mind begins to soften. It no longer has the same strength to argue. The outer world recedes. The room grows still. The facts of the day lose some of their sharpness. The body becomes heavy, and when the body becomes heavy, the old insistence of the senses begins to fade. The eyes rest, the hands release, the breath slows. Reason, which stood all day at the gate demanding evidence, grows less severe. This is the mercy of sleep. This is the sacred opening. I have called it the state akin to sleep, that borderland between waking and sleeping, where the mind is passive, yet not entirely unconscious. It is a twilight country. The body lies quiet, but imagination is still awake. The world has not entirely vanished, but it no longer rules. Thought may still move, but slowly. The old facts may still appear, but they do not strike with the same force. The gatekeeper lowers his guard. In this borderland, a command felt as true may enter the deep. Not a command shouted, not a command forced, not a command repeated with desperation, a command felt as true. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. When this sentence is carried into the state akin to sleep with a feeling of ease, relief, and naturalness, it does not remain merely a sentence. It becomes an impression. It descends beneath debate. It reaches the level where the old programming was first received. It is no longer talking to the surface mind. It is instructing the deep. This is why the final assumption before sleep is so powerful. It is the last garment consciousness wears before entering the hidden chamber. It is the final instruction given before the conscious mind lays down its tools. If the final assumption is fear, fear is carried inward. If the final assumption is lack, lack is carried inward. If the final assumption is provision, provision is carried inward. The night is impartial. It receives what is worn. Men think they end the day by closing their eyes, but they often continue the day by carrying its old state into sleep. They lie down with worry, and worry becomes the night's instruction. They lie down with pressure, and pressure becomes the atmosphere of the subconscious. They lie down with the feeling, I am behind, and the deep mind receives behindness as identity. Then they wake and say, nothing has changed. But the night was not empty. It faithfully received the same command. Tonight we use sleep differently. We are not using sleep as escape. We are using sleep as the great reprogramming chamber. We are not falling unconscious in the old state. We are allowing the new state to pass through the gate. We are not carrying the day's evidence into the deep. We are carrying the end. We are not falling asleep as the one who lacks. We are falling asleep as the one who is provided for. This is why effort cannot do what acceptance before sleep can do. Effort often keeps the conscious mind awake in struggle. Acceptance before sleep lets the conscious mind become quiet while the subconscious receives. Effort often says, I must change myself. Acceptance says, I am changed in consciousness. Effort often says, I must make this work. Acceptance says, the law works in silence. Effort often says, I must force the door. Acceptance discovers that the door opens inward. Think of a sealed room. All day, a man may push against the outer wall, trying to break in with his shoulders. He may exhaust himself and call the exhaustion devotion. Yet at night, when he grows still, he discovers there was a door, and the door opened from within. The key was not strain. The key was assumption. The room was not entered by violence. It was entered by becoming the one who belonged there. So it is with wealth. You do not enter wealth by exhausting the old financial self. You enter wealth by assuming the new self. You do not make money come by proving how much you need it. You let money come naturally by sleeping in the state of being supplied. You do not command the subconscious through desperation. You command it through accepted identity. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. This sentence, when forced, is only a phrase. This sentence, when accepted, is a command. This sentence, when slept in, becomes programming. Now perhaps the mind asks, but how do I accept it if I do not yet see it? This question belongs to the waking mind. The waking mind wants the visible world to give permission. But I tell you, the visible world is only the result of former assumptions. If you wait for the result to change before you assume, you remain servant to the past. The state akin to sleep allows you to step out of servitude to the past. In that soft hour, you are less bound by the old evidence. You may enter the end before the facts have rearranged. Do not try to convince the old facts. They are not the judge. Do not try to persuade yesterday. Yesterday is an echo. Do not ask memory whether you are allowed to be wealthy. Memory only knows what has been. Tonight you are not consulting memory. You are impressing imagination. You are not asking the past to approve the future. You are planting a new state in the only place where a new future can begin. The waking mind argues. Sleep receives. The waking mind compares. Sleep receives. The waking mind calculates. Sleep receives. The waking mind checks appearances. Sleep receives. Therefore, the wise man uses the waking mind to choose the command, and then lets sleep receive it. He does not keep arguing at the gate. He does not stand outside the chamber explaining his desire. He enters the drowsy state with the feeling of the wish fulfilled. He lets the command become simple, soft, and natural. Then sleep carries it where effort could not. A simple command accepted before sleep may go deeper than hours of forced repetition during the day. This is not because the day is useless. It is because the night is receptive. A seed placed in fertile soil does not need to be hammered into the earth. It needs to be placed and covered. A command placed in the subconscious does not need to be shouted into the deep. It needs to be felt and accepted. Then the deep does what it knows how to do. The soil does not respond to anxiety. It responds to planting. The subconscious does not respond to effort as such. It responds to what is felt as real. If effort carries lack, lack is planted. If ease carries provision, provision is planted. So tonight, your task is not to create a great storm of emotion. Your task is to let one quiet fact become believable enough to sleep in. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Let the phrase approach the body. Do not hold it only in the head. Let the shoulders hear it. Let the breath hear it. Let the heart hear it. Let the hands hear it. Let the chest hear it. Let the old places of pressure hear it. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. If the body softens even slightly, the command is descending. If the breath becomes a little easier, the command is no longer merely mental. If the mind stops chasing tomorrow for even a moment, the command is becoming atmosphere. Do not despise these small signs. The deep is often reached through small signs. A slight release may be the first evidence that the old program is yielding. The waking mind may want a dramatic proof. It may say, I do not feel rich enough. I do not feel certain enough. I do not feel transformed enough. Let it speak and grow quiet. The command does not need theatrical emotion. It needs acceptance. And acceptance is often calm. It may feel ordinary. It may feel like a quiet of course. Of course I am provided for. Of course the way is opening. Of course money comes naturally. Of course the law works in silence. This ordinary feeling is very important. Wealth must become natural to you before it can remain with you naturally. If wealth feels impossible, distant, foreign, or miraculous in the wrong sense, the subconscious treats it as outside your identity. But if being provided for becomes natural, then money has a natural home in your consciousness. The command becomes no longer a hope, but a state. During the day, you may work with this understanding, but at night, you surrender the labor. At night, you do not need to force a belief into the mind. At night, you allow the command to be received. There is a great difference. Forcing belief feels like pushing a heavy door from the wrong side. Allowing the command to be received feels like lying down inside the room and letting the door close softly behind you. The state akin to sleep is the borderland. It is the place where the old God becomes drowsy. You do not have to defeat him. You do not have to argue with him. He lowers his weapon as sleep approaches. The world recedes. The body grows heavy. The old facts lose their sharpness. The conscious mind stops standing so proudly upon the evidence of the senses. And in that quiet, the sentence may enter. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Not, I hope to be provided for. Not, I am trying to attract money. Not, I need this to happen. Not, I must force the world to change. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Feel the authority of already, feel the relief of provided for. Feel the naturalness of money comes naturally. Let the whole command feel like something you can sleep in, not something to perform, not something to prove, something to sleep in. If you fall asleep while feeling even a little of this, you have not failed. You have succeeded in the very way the night understands. Sleep is the seal. Sleep is not the interruption of the work. Sleep is the carrying of the work into the chamber. When the conscious mind disappears, the impressed state remains. The seed continues in darkness. The bridge begins in silence. This is why I tell you to stop treating sleep as merely the end of effort. Sleep is not the end of creation. Sleep is often its beginning. When deep sleep falls upon men, instruction is sealed within. The waking mind lays down its tools, and the subconscious begins to build according to the design received. If the design is fear, fear is built. If the design is provision, provision is built. If the design is wealth, wealth begins its journey into form. But the design must be simple enough to be carried through the gate. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. This is the design. The way is open. This is the atmosphere. The seed is planted. This is the trust. The bridge is forming. This is the release of how. The law works in silence. This is the end of supervision. Do not make the night heavy with too many instructions. The deeper mind knows how to build from a single true seed. The conscious mind loves complexity, because complexity gives it something to do, but the subconscious loves impression. A single impression accepted as true can reorganize a life. Therefore, let the command be simple. Let it be warm. Let it be final. Now, as you listen, perhaps the body is beginning to understand, perhaps not fully, but enough. It is beginning to understand that it does not need to tighten in order to be sincere. It does not need to worry in order to be responsible. It does not need to rehearse lack in order to prepare for life. It may rest and still be faithful to the desire. It may soften and still be powerful. It may sleep and still create. The old world taught you to believe that if you stop trying, everything will fall apart. But the law teaches that when you stop trying from lack and begin assuming from the end, everything begins to rearrange. The old world taught you to hold the problem until it is solved. The law teaches you to enter the solution and let the problem dissolve by correspondence. The old world taught you to earn rest through proof. The law teaches you to rest in the state and let proof follow. So tonight, let the surface effort become quiet. Let the need to force yourself fade. Let the need to check whether you are doing it correctly soften. You are not here to impress the law by strain. You are here to allow the law to impress the subconscious with a new command. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Let it be received. The way is open. Let it be received. The seed is planted. Let it be received. The bridge is forming. Let it be received. The law works in silence. Let it be received. And if the mind wanders, return gently, not like a soldier correcting an error, but like a mother guiding a sleepy child back to bed. Return to the command. Return to the feeling. Return to the quiet authority of being. Every gentle return weakens the old program and strengthens the new impression. Every gentle return says, "This is where I sleep now." Tonight you are not forcing the mind. You are allowing the command to be received. You are not using effort to become wealthy. You are entering the state in which wealth is natural. You are not battling appearances. You are passing beneath them. You are not trying to make the old facts agree before you sleep. You are letting sleep carry the new fact into the deep. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. This is the command. This is the seed. This is the decree. This is the new program. And as the night deepens, the command will go where effort could never take it. Now, my friend, we must make a distinction so simple that the mind may overlook it, and yet so powerful that if you grasp it tonight, your whole inner life may begin to change. There is a difference between a wish and a command. A wish reaches, a command assumes. A wish says, "I hope." A command says, "I am." A wish looks toward the thing desired as though it were far away. A command speaks from the state in which the thing desired is already possessed in consciousness. This is why many remain weary in their desires. They have wished sincerely. They have wished with tears. They have wished with longing. They have wished in the morning and in the night. But wishing, if it remains wishing, still confesses distance. It says, "The thing I desire is not yet mine. It is somewhere beyond me. It may come or it may not. I wait for it. I reach for it. I hope life will have mercy and bring it near." And the subconscious, receiving the feeling beneath the wish, receives absence. A wish is not evil. Desire is not wrong. Desire is the voice of expansion within you. Desire is the spirit announcing that a greater state is possible. Desire is the first stirring of a new world in consciousness. But desire must not remain standing outside the door. Desire must be brought into fulfillment. The wish must become a command. The longing must become assumption. The reaching hand must become the quiet hand of possession. When I say command, do not think of arrogance. Do not think of a man shouting at heaven. Do not think of anger, harshness, or pride. The wealth command is not a loud demand made by a frightened mind. It is not the voice of one trying to force life into obedience. It is the quiet authority of one who knows that consciousness is cause. It is the inward stillness of one who has stopped asking the shadow to change and has returned to the body that casts it. The true command is calm. It does not need to shout because it is not trying to persuade the outer world. It is spoken from within to the deep. It is spoken from I am, not from fear. It is not thrown outward as a cry. It is accepted inwardly as identity. The command says, "This is who I am now. This is the state I occupy. This is the truth I carry into sleep." And the subconscious, receiving the state as true, begins to build the bridge. A wish says, "I want money." A command says, "I am provided for." Feel the difference. I want money may be honest, but it may still tremble. It may still carry hunger, it may still carry the fear that money is outside, far away, uncertain, and perhaps unwilling to come. But I am provided for speaks from another place. It does not deny money, it includes money. But it does not worship money as the source. It enters the state from which money, help, favor, opportunity, ideas, and opened ways may naturally come. A wish says, I hope the way opens. A command says, the way is open. The wish stands before the door and waits. The command enters the room. The wish looks at the visible world and says, perhaps one day. The command speaks from the invisible cause and says, it is open now in consciousness, and the visible must follow. The wish depends upon appearances. The command creates the inner fact to which appearances must conform. A wish says, I need help. A command says, I am supported. The wish feels the burden. The command feels the support. The wish confesses the absence of help. The command assumes the presence of help, even before the helping hand is seen. The wish says, something outside must come to rescue me. The command says, I am already in the state of being supported, and life must reveal the supporting means. This is not a game of words. It is a change of state. The phrase itself has no power if the state beneath it remains unchanged. A man may say, the way is open, while inwardly feeling trapped, and then wonder why nothing moves. But the subconscious did not receive the phrase. It received the imprisonment. A woman may say, I am supported, while inwardly feeling abandoned, and then conclude that the words have no power. But the words were only leaves upon the tree. The root was still abandonment. The command must be felt, not merely spoken. A command spoken from fear is only fear wearing a crown. Remember this. If fear takes the words of faith and speaks them with trembling desperation, the subconscious receives the trembling. If lack takes the words of wealth and repeats them while feeling empty, the subconscious receives the emptiness. If panic says, it is done, while watching anxiously to see whether it is done, panic is still the ruler. The crown has been placed upon fear, and fear continues to command. But a command spoken from assumption becomes creative. Assumption is not strain. Assumption is inward occupancy. It is the feeling that I am now the one I desired to be. It is the acceptance of a state before the senses testify. It is the quiet crossing from wanting into being. When you assume, you do not shout to make the thing true. You enter the state in which it is true. You do not argue with the old world. You let the old world become shadow. You do not chase the new world. You become the one to whom the new world belongs. A wish reaches forward in time. A command stands in the eternal now. A wish says, I will be supplied. A command says, I am supplied now. A wish says, I hope money comes. A command says, money comes naturally. A wish says, when life changes, I will rest. A command says, I rest in the state, and life must change. A wish says, I am waiting. A command says, I have entered. Now do not condemn the wish. The wish brought you to the door. The wish is the awakening of desire. It is the soul turning toward a greater expression of life. If you did not desire wealth, you would not seek the state of wealth. If you did not desire freedom, you would not listen for the law. If you did not desire relief, you would not long to sleep differently tonight. The wish is a messenger, but the messenger must not be mistaken for the throne. You cannot sleep in wishing and wake in possession. You must sleep in the command. You must let the desire become fulfilled inwardly before the outer world has rearranged itself. You must move from I want to I am. This is the whole mystery of assumption. It is not pretending in the shallow sense. It is selecting the state that is to be made visible. Let us make this very gentle. Suppose you have said many times, I want money. Tonight, do not be ashamed of that sentence. Simply translate it. I want money becomes I am provided for. Suppose you have said, I need a way. Translate it, the way is open. Suppose you have said, I need help. Translate it, I am supported. Suppose you have said, I hope something happens. Translate it, the bridge is forming. Suppose you have said, I am tired of trying. Translate it, I no longer try from lack, I assume from wealth. This translation is the movement from wish to command, and the body will tell you whether you have moved. When you are in wishing, the body often leans forward, the chest may tighten, the breath may become shallow, the mind may run toward tomorrow, the hands may grip invisibly, the whole inner being may feel suspended, as though life is withheld until some outer event arrives. But when you enter command, the body begins to settle. The breath deepens, the shoulders lower, the mind no longer runs so far, The heart feels less hunted. The command has the atmosphere of possession. A wish feels like distance. A command feels like possession. Not possession in the crude sense of grasping, but possession in consciousness. The state is yours. The end is yours. The feeling is yours. The identity is yours. You have entered the room inwardly, and because you have entered inwardly, the outer path must form. This is why the command must be carried into sleep. During the day, the mind may continue wishing because appearances appear loud. The senses may say, you do not have it. Memory may say, it has not happened before. Reason may say, I do not see the way. But at night, as the body grows quiet, the command can sink beneath these objections. It can descend where argument is weak and impression is strong. You are not trying to convince the day tonight. You are instructing the night. You are not arguing with conditions. You are selecting the state. You are not reaching toward money. You are sleeping as the one for whom money comes naturally. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Let the sentence be heard now as command, not wish. It does not say, may I be provided for. It does not say, I hope money comes. It does not say, please let this happen. It says, I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. The word already is the end of waiting. The words provided for are the end of abandonment. The words money comes naturally are the end of chase. Feel the quiet authority in it, not loud authority, not theatrical authority. The authority of a seed, knowing itself to be a tree. The authority of dawn, knowing it will come. The authority of the tide, knowing its movement. The authority of I am clothed in the state it has chosen. The command is not given to the outer world first. It is given to the subconscious. It is given to the deep. It is given to the unseen builder. And the subconscious does not say, but the outer world disagrees. The subconscious receives what is felt as true. It receives the command when the command is accepted. It receives the crown you place upon I am. If you place the crown upon lack, lack rules. If you place the crown upon fear, fear rules. If you place the crown upon wish, waiting rules. If you place the crown upon provision, provision rules. If you place the crown upon wealth, wealth begins to rule. So tonight, take the crown from wishing. Wishing has served its purpose. It awakened desire, but it cannot rule the kingdom. The ruler must be assumption. The ruler must be command. The ruler must be I am in the state fulfilled. I am provided for. This is a command. The way is open. This is a command. I am supported. This is a command. Money comes naturally. This is a command. The bridge is forming. This is a command. It is already handled. Let I am provided for bring the feeling of being held by life. Let the way is open bring the feeling that no wall is final. Let I am supported bring the feeling that you do not carry this alone. Let money comes naturally bring the end of inner chasing. Let the bridge is forming bring freedom from needing to know how. Let it is already handled bring relief. If the phrase brings no feeling, do not force it. Slow down. Choose the one that your body can receive. Perhaps tonight the truest command for you is not grand. Perhaps it is simply, I am supported. Let that be enough. A small command accepted is greater than a magnificent phrase spoken from distance. The subconscious receives reality, not ornament. The old self may say, but I still want the money. Of course, desire remains. But now desire is no longer begging. Desire has been moved into state. You may desire the outer form, yes, but you do not deny desire. You fulfill it in consciousness. You do not kill longing. You transform it into assumption. You do not suppress the wish. You crown it as command. This is the way of creation. First, the wish awakens. Then imagination gives it form. Then feeling gives it life. Then assumption makes it identity. Then sleep seals it. Then the bridge unfolds. Most men stop at wishing. They say, I want. Then they wait and worry. But the awakened man does not stop there. He takes the wish and asks, what would I be if this were true now? Then he enters that being. He does not merely wish to be wealthy. He becomes inwardly supplied. He does not merely wish for help. He becomes inwardly supported. He does not merely wish for money. He becomes the one for whom money comes naturally. This is why I say a command assumes. It does not reach. It does not stand outside. It does not postpone itself. It assumes the end, and then life, being a mirror, must rearrange itself to reflect the assumed end. Now, when you hear the word command, let it become softer, not harder. Let it have the softness of certainty. A frightened man commands loudly because he doubts his authority. But true authority is quiet. A man who knows the house is his does not shout at the walls. A king who knows his throne does not beg the servants to believe him. The sun does not cry out to prove it is light. It shines because it is what it is. So your command tonight is not a cry, it is a shining. It is the state radiating inwardly. It is consciousness saying, I am this now. It is the old wish becoming the new self. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Let the command be spoken as though it were obvious. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Let it be spoken as though the argument has ended. I am already provided for, and money comes. Let it be spoken as though the deep already knows. Do not ask the outer world to confirm it before you sleep. That is the old habit of wishing. The wish asks the world for permission. The command gives the subconscious instruction. The wish watches appearances. The command plants the seed. The wish says, show me, then I will believe. The command says, I accept and you will show me. The old world may still appear for a little while because appearances are echoes. But you need not keep answering the echo. If the echo says, you are lacking, do not say, yes, I am. If the echo says, you are waiting, do not say, yes, I wait. If the echo says, money is difficult, do not bow before it. Return to command. I am provided for. The way is open. I am supported. Money comes naturally. The bridge is forming. It is already handled. These commands are not meant to excite you into wakefulness. They are meant to settle you into identity. Let them become quiet. Let them become slow. Let them become almost ordinary. The more ordinary they feel, the deeper they go. The subconscious accepts what feels natural. A command that feels natural is already near fulfillment. Perhaps you have wished for money for a long time. Tonight, bless the wish and let it become command. Bless the desire and let it become assumption. Bless the longing and let it become the feeling of possession. You are not abandoning the desire. You are giving it the only place where it can be fulfilled, consciousness. I want money becomes I am provided for. I hope the way opens becomes the way is open. I need help becomes I am supported. I am waiting becomes I am in the end. I am trying becomes I am. Let this translation happen slowly, like the night deepening. No more reaching as the final state. No more hoping as the final state. No more waiting as the final state. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. And if you sleep with that command as your inward atmosphere, you sleep differently. You no longer sleep as the beggar at the gate. You sleep as the one within the house. You no longer sleep as the seeker of wealth. You sleep as the consciousness of wealth. You no longer sleep asking whether life will remember you. You sleep as one already remembered. This is where the change begins. Not in noise, but in state. Not in reaching, but in being. Not in wishing for money, but in commanding from the state of wealth. And as you move deeper tonight, you are leaving the old posture of the wish. You are entering the quiet authority of command. You are moving from I hope into I am. You are moving from distance into possession. You are moving from wanting money into commanding from the state of wealth. Now, my friend, we must come to the throne from which every command is given. We have spoken of the command. We have seen that it is not a wish. We have seen that it is not a cry from lack, not a reaching hand, not a prayer of distance. But now we must go deeper still, for every true command begins in the same holy place. It begins in I am. Before you say, I am poor, there is I am. Before you say, I am wealthy, there is I am. Before you say, I am afraid, there is I am. Before you say, I am supported, there is I am. Before any garment is placed upon consciousness, consciousness is. Before any name is joined to you, before any condition is accepted, before any story is repeated, there is the simple, living awareness of being. I am. This is the throne. Do not pass over these two words because they are familiar. The most familiar words may hide the greatest mysteries. Men use them every day without reverence. They attach them to weakness, to fear, to memory, to age, to poverty, to struggle, to shame, to exhaustion, and then wonder why life continues to wear the same face. But I tell you, I am is not a casual phrase. I am is the creative center. I am is the place where the invisible takes direction. I am is the throne of consciousness, and whatever is permitted to sit upon that throne rules the inner kingdom and is reflected in the outer world. Before the command "I am supplied" can be powerful, the words "I am" must be restored to their dignity. I am is not begging, I am is not hoping, I am is not waiting, I am is being, and being is prior to all evidence. You do not need the outer world to tell you that you are, for you already know that you are. This knowing is deeper than thought. It is the one fact you cannot remove. You may change your name, your work, your surroundings, your feelings, your possessions, your memories, your expectations, but you cannot remove the fact that you are aware. That awareness is the throne from which life is commanded. Now, every command begins with "I am," even when the words are not spoken aloud. A man may never stand in a room and declare, "I am behind." Yet if he feels behind as identity, he has given the command. A woman may never formally affirm, "I am tired of trying," yet if she sleeps night after night as one exhausted by life, she has given the command. The subconscious does not wait for ceremony. It does not ask whether the phrase was written or spoken. It receives what is accepted as self. "I am behind" is a command when it is worn as identity. "I am tired" is a command when it becomes the name under which you live. "I am unlucky" is a command when you expect life to close where it opens for others. "I am always struggling" is a command when struggle feels natural to you. "I am not good with money" is a command when you believe it in the secret place. "I am forgotten" is a command when you carry it into sleep. "I am afraid of tomorrow" is a command when tomorrow becomes the master of the night. These are not innocent once they are enthroned. They are not merely descriptions of passing circumstances. They become laws in the inner kingdom. They tell the subconscious what role you have accepted. And the subconscious, faithful servant that it is, begins to arrange the play of life according to the role. If I say, "I am poor," and feel poor, I have taken the sacred name and clothed it in poverty. If I say, "I am struggling," and feel struggle as my natural lot, I have taken the power of being and joined it to resistance. If I say, "I am unlucky," and feel myself outside the favor of life, I have commanded experience to meet me as one unfavored, not because the universe hates me, not because God has forgotten me, but because I am, clothed in a state, becomes the creator of the world I experience. This is why the throne matters. If fear sits upon the throne, the kingdom obeys fear. If lack sits upon the throne, the kingdom obeys lack. If shame sits upon the throne, the kingdom obeys. If delay sits upon the throne, the kingdom obeys delay. But if supply sits upon the throne, the kingdom begins to obey supply. If support sits upon the throne, the kingdom begins to obey support. If provision sits upon the throne, the kingdom begins to obey provision. If wealth as a state sits upon the throne, the kingdom begins to reorganize around wealth. So I ask you tonight, not with harshness, but with great tenderness, what has been sitting upon the throne of your "I am"? What word, what mood, what assumption, what old conclusion has been wearing the crown? Has it been "I am behind"? Has it been "I am afraid"? Has it been "I am always the one who must fight"? Has it been "I am not the one money comes to"? Has it been "I am trying but never arriving"? If so, see it gently. Do not strike yourself for having worn an old garment. Seeing is the beginning of freedom. The old use of "I am" was learned in ignorance. Perhaps you were taught by those who loved you but did not know the law. Perhaps you heard the language of struggle so often that it became the music of your inner life. Perhaps money was spoken of as though it were scarce, hard, dangerous, uncertain, or reserved for others. Perhaps the atmosphere around you whispered, "Do not expect too much," and so, without knowing it, you began to give "I am" to smallness. But tonight, the sacred name is reclaimed. "I am" is not to be handed to poverty. "I am" is not to be handed to fear. "I am" is not to be handed to the memory of failure. "I am" is not to be handed to the appearance of delay. "I am" is not to be handed to the old balance, the old letter, the old wound, the old disappointment, or the old family story. "I am" belongs to the state you choose. Now, let the new throne language begin. Not as slogans, not as noise, not as words thrown into the dark, but as identities placed gently upon the self. "I am supplied." Not "I hope to be supplied." Not "I am seeking supply." Not "I am waiting for supply to prove that I may rest." I am supplied. This is the throne language of one who has stopped giving power to absence. Supply is not merely an event. Supply is a state of consciousness. When you say "I am supplied," and you feel even a little of its quiet truth, you are placing supply upon the throne of being. "I am supported." Let the body hear it. "I am." Not I must carry the whole burden by myself. Not I must understand every road before I can breathe. I am supported. Support may come through visible hands, through invisible arrangements, through ideas, through timing, through help, through favor, through a path you did not expect. But before support appears outwardly, support must be accepted inwardly. I am supported. I am provided for. Let the phrase become warm. I am provided for. This is not the voice of one begging at the gate. It is the voice of one who has remembered the law. I am provided for. The way may not yet be visible to the senses, but the state is accepted. The bridge may still be hidden, but the command has been given. I am provided for. The body can soften under this phrase. The breath can widen under this phrase. The mind can stop running so far into tomorrow under this phrase. I am the one life remembers. This is a tender command. I am the one life remembers. Not forgotten, not left behind, not passed by while others are blessed. I am the one life remembers. The law remembers the state I occupy. Consciousness remembers what I accept as true. The deep remembers the seed planted within it. I am not a lost thing in a careless world. I am the one life remembers. I am the one for whom money comes naturally. Do not make this harsh or proud. Let it be calm. I am the one for whom money comes naturally. This does not mean I worship money. This does not mean I place money above consciousness. It means money has become natural to my state. It means receiving is not foreign to me. It means supply is not strange. It means money, as one expression of provision, can move through the open roads of life without my chasing it as master. I am the one for whom money comes naturally. These are not slogans. Understand this well. A slogan is placed on the surface. An identity is worn in the deep. A slogan may be repeated with the lips while the heart remains elsewhere. An identity is inhabited. It becomes the invisible clothing of the self. It changes how the body lies down. It changes how the breath moves. It changes the feeling with which tomorrow is imagined. It changes what the subconscious receives before sleep. Therefore, do not shout these words. Do not use them as weapons against fear. Do not repeat them as though the quantity of repetition were more important than the quality of acceptance. Let them sink. Let them become slower. Let them become warmer. Let them become almost ordinary. You are not trying to impress the outer world. You are allowing the deeper mind to receive a new name. I am supplied. Pause inwardly. I am supported. Let the body agree. I am provided for. Let the breath soften. I am the one life remembers. Let the heart be less lonely. I am the one for whom money comes naturally. Let the old chase dissolve. This is how throne language is used. The words are spoken from being, and then being is allowed to wear them. If you merely say them while continuing to sleep as lack, they remain outside the throne room. But if you let them become the state you enter, they sit upon the throne. And what sits upon the throne rules. Now perhaps the old mind says, but I do not feel supplied yet. Let that thought pass without becoming king. Do not give I am to it. Do not say, I am not supplied. Say instead, the old feeling is passing, but I am learning to inhabit supply. Perhaps the old mind says, I still feel unsupported. Do not crown it. Say, a memory of being unsupported is passing, but I am supported now in consciousness. Perhaps the old mind says, money has never come naturally to me. Do not give memory the throne. Say, that was the... Tonight, I accept a new one. Memory is not the ruler unless you crown it. Appearance is not the ruler unless you crown it. Fear is not the ruler unless you crown it. The throne is I am, and I am may choose its garment now. This is the dignity of the law. You are not sentenced forever to what you have believed before. You are not bound eternally to the old inner speech. The command can be changed because the state can be changed. The state can be changed because consciousness is free to identify. And the moment consciousness identifies with a new state, the new command begins to operate. But it must be worn into sleep. You may think a new state in the day, and that is good. You may speak it while walking, and that is good. You may remember it while acting in the world, and that is good. But tonight the important thing is that you wear it into sleep. Let the last garment be provision. Let the last name be supplied. Let the last inward identity be supported. Let the final feeling before sleep not be I am afraid, but I am provided for. When a man takes an old garment off before sleep, he does not argue with it. He simply removes it. So remove the old I am gently. Remove I am behind. Remove I am always struggling. Remove I am not good with money. Remove I am forgotten. Remove I am tired of trying. These garments may have been worn for a long time, but they are not your skin. They are states, and a state can be left. Now put on the new garment. I am supplied. Do not analyze it too much. Wear it. I am supported. Do not shout it. Wear it. I am provided for. Do not beg with it. Wear it. I am the one life remembers. Do not question it. Wear it. I am the one for whom money comes naturally. Do not chase through it. Wear it. To wear a state into sleep is to let it become the mood in which the body rests. It is to let the phrase move from the head to the chest, from the chest to the breath, from the breath to the whole atmosphere of self. It is to fall asleep, not thinking about wealth as a distant object, but being wealth as an inner condition. It is to let I am remain clothed in the new name as the conscious mind fades. If sleep comes while you are wearing the state, sleep becomes the seal. You do not need to remain awake to guard it. The seed does not require your anxious supervision. The deep receives what is impressed. The command continues where your surface attention ends. So if the words become drowsy, let them become drowsy. If the mind begins to drift, let it drift in the new name. If the command becomes only a feeling, that is good. The feeling is the living part. I am supplied. I am supported. I am provided for. I am remembered. Money comes naturally. The bridge is forming. The law works in silence. This is not mere comfort. It is reprogramming at the root. For the old program was also made of I am, but I am given to lack. The old program said, I am struggling. The new program says, I am supplied. The old program said, I am behind. The new program says, I am supported. The old program said, I am not good with money. The new program says, money comes naturally. The new program says, I am the one life remembers. The change is not in the surface words alone. The change is in the marriage of I am. To what is I am married tonight? Is it married to lack or supply? Is it married to fear or support? Is it married to struggle or provision? Is it married to memory or assumption? Is it married to the old self or the self that sleeps in wealth? Every night, I am goes into the deep clothed in something. Tonight, choose. Let it be supply. Let it be support. Let it be provision. Let it be remembered. Let it be money comes naturally. Let it be I am already provided for. Let it be the law works in silence. Let it be the bridge is forming. This is the throne from which the command is given. Not the tongue alone, not the forehead, not effort, not panic. The throne is I am. And when I am speaks from a state accepted as true, the command has authority. When I am is clothed in provision, I am provided for is not merely a phrase, it is a decree of being. When I am is clothed in supply, I am supplied is not merely a sentence, it is the nature of the world to come. Do not think you must become a different person by struggle. The new person begins as a new identification. You become the one you assume yourself to be. You do not wait for the world to name you supplied. You name yourself supplied in consciousness, and the world must learn your new name. You do not wait for money to prove that it comes naturally. You enter the state in which money is natural, and money must find the corresponding form. The outer world may be slow only because it is echo. Do not take the echo as authority. The authority is I am. If the echo says you are lacking, do not answer I am lacking. If the echo says you are behind, do not answer I am behind. If the echo says you have always struggled, do not answer I am always struggling. Let the echo fade. Speak from the throne. I am supplied. I am supported. I am provided for. I am the one life remembers. I am the one for whom money comes naturally. Let these identities begin to rule quietly. Let them not be loud but settled. Let them not be strained but accepted. Let them not be distant but worn. Let them enter the body as atmosphere. Let them enter sleep as... Tonight you are not decorating the old self with better words. You are not placing golden phrases over a throne still occupied by lack. You are changing the ruler. You are withdrawing I am from the old command and giving it to the new. You are no longer allowing the sacred name to be used by poverty, fear, delay, or shame. You are restoring I am to supply, and this is where reprogramming begins. It does not begin when the world changes. It does not begin when the money appears. It does not begin when every doubt has vanished. It begins when I am is no longer given to lack. It begins when the sacred awareness of being is clothed in provision. It begins when before sleep, you stop saying inwardly, I am struggling, and begin to wear the quiet truth, I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Reprogramming begins when I am is no longer given to lack. Now, my friend, we must make the command simple, for the night does not receive complexity as deeply as it receives a living simplicity. A tired mind cannot carry a great structure into sleep. A weary heart cannot hold 100 instructions and still become peaceful. A drowsy mind receives best what is short, rhythmic, emotional, and clear. It receives the phrase that can be breathed. It receives the sentence that can be felt. It receives the command that becomes less like thought and more like a quiet pulse within the body. The waking mind loves many words. It loves explanations. It loves systems, reasons, steps, exceptions, arguments, and proofs. It wants to know whether it has done the work correctly. It wants to compare one method with another. It wants to build a great tower of understanding and then climb it with effort. But sleep is not entered by climbing a tower. Sleep is entered by descent. And as you descend, you must carry only what can descend with you. A man going into deep water does not carry a library upon his back. He carries breath. A seed going into the earth does not carry a field of instructions. It carries life. A command going into the subconscious does not need to be complicated. It needs to be alive. It needs to be accepted. It needs to be felt as true enough to enter the deep without struggle. So tonight, the command must be simple enough to fall asleep with. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. This is the central command. Let it be heard slowly. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Do not rush past it, because it is simple. Simplicity is not weakness. The deepest truths often come clothed in plain words. The conscious mind may want something more elaborate, something impressive, something that feels like a secret because it is difficult to remember. But the subconscious is not impressed by difficulty. It is impressed by feeling. It is impressed by what is repeated in the atmosphere of acceptance. It is impressed by what becomes natural. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. This command contains the whole movement from lack into wealth. It removes waiting. It creates safety. It removes the chase. It places you in the state and allows money to become an effect of that state. If you carry this one sentence into sleep with feeling, you have carried enough. You do not need to carry the entire teaching in words. The teaching is inside the command, as the tree is inside the seed. Now let us listen to the command piece by piece, not with analysis that wakes the mind, but with understanding that helps the body receive. I am, already. Already removes waiting. The old mind says, one day. The old mind says, when the world changes. The old mind says, when the evidence arrives. The old mind says, when I understand the path. But already is a holy word when it is joined to assumption. Already means you are no longer standing in the future asking life to become kind. Already means the state is chosen now. Already means consciousness does not wait for permission from circumstances. Already means the inner fact is accepted before the outer fact appears. I am already. Feel how that phrase brings you into the present. Not tomorrow, not after proof, not after all questions are answered. I am already. The power of already is that it cuts the thread of endless postponement. Many have lived in the state of not yet for years. Not yet supplied, not yet safe, not yet chosen, not yet free, not yet wealthy, not yet relieved. And because they have slept in not yet, life has continued to mirror not yet. But tonight, the command begins with already. I am already provided for. Provided for creates safety. The heart needs safety before wealth can feel natural. The body needs to know that life is not an enemy. The breath needs to know it may widen. The shoulders need to know they are not required to hold the whole burden. Provided for is a tender phrase because it speaks to the part of you that has feared being alone. It speaks to the part that has tried to carry tomorrow before tomorrow arrived. It speaks to the part that has worried in the dark and called it responsibility. I am already provided for. This does not mean the conscious mind knows every channel. It does not mean the senses have reported every proof. It means the state of provision is now accepted inwardly. It means you no longer define yourself by the appearance of lack. It means you are not sleeping as one abandoned. It means you enter the night as one held by the law. Provided for includes money, but it is larger than money. It includes help. It includes timing. It includes ideas. It includes open doors. It includes favor. It includes cancellation. It includes a road where no road seemed visible. It includes the quiet movement of life, arranging what the waking mind cannot arrange. When you say, I am provided for, You stop narrowing supply to one road and begin resting in the state from which many roads may come. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Money comes naturally removes chase. The old command chased money. It watched money, it feared money, it worshipped money as though money were master. It said, "Where is it? How shall I get it? Why is it not here? What if it never comes?" And in that chase it confessed distance. In that chase it said, "Money is outside me, and I must run after it." But the new command says, money comes naturally, not violently, not strangely, not as something impossible. Naturally, naturally is an important word. The subconscious accepts what feels natural. If money feels unnatural to you, if receiving feels strange, if ease feels suspicious, then wealth may seem to come as a visitor and leave as a stranger. But when money comes naturally in your consciousness, it belongs. It has a home in your state. It is not worshipped. It is not feared. It is not chased. It is one expression of the provision you have accepted. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. This sentence is short enough for sleep and deep enough for transformation. It begins with identity. I am. It establishes time. Already. It gives safety. Provided for. It restores money to natural order. Money comes naturally. Nothing in it begs. Nothing in it strains. Nothing in it asks the outer world for permission. It is a command of being. Now you may have other commands that help you. There are many short phrases that can carry the state. I am supplied now. I am supported now. The bridge is forming. The law works in silence. I sleep in wealth. I wake as the one provided for. These are good. They are useful. They are servants of the same state. But do not scatter the mind tonight by chasing variety. The subconscious is impressed by repeated feeling, not by constant novelty. A seed does not become stronger because the farmer plants it in one place, then pulls it up and plants it in another. A command does not become deeper because you replace it every few moments with something new. The deep is impressed when the same state returns again and again until it becomes familiar. Therefore, let the main command remain your home. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. If the mind wanders, return there. If another phrase comes, let it support this one. If fear speaks, return there. If drowsiness begins, return there. If the words begin, I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. This command is not meant to be repeated like a machine. It is meant to be repeated like a lullaby. A machine has no feeling. A lullaby carries atmosphere. A lullaby does not force sleep. It invites sleep. It returns softly, again and again, until the body trusts it. So let this command return like a lullaby to the deeper self. Let it be slow. Let it be warm. The conscious mind may say, is this enough? Yes, if it is felt. One living command is enough. One accepted identity is enough. One seed is enough, if it is planted. The mind that asks for more is often still trying to control the process. It thinks more words create more power. But power is not in many words. Power is in the state. The words awaken. If one sentence brings you into provision, stay with it. If one sentence allows the body to soften, if one sentence becomes natural enough to sleep in, stay with it. Think of how the old command was formed. It did not require a complicated doctrine. The old command was often simple. I am behind. Money is hard. I never have enough. Nothing comes easily. I am tired. I am afraid. These sentences were short, and yet they impressed the mind, because they were repeated with feeling. If short sentences can bind when clothed in fear, short sentences, the subconscious does not say, this phrase is too simple. It receives what feels real. It receives the state behind the phrase. It receives the mood, the identity, the atmosphere. So the new command may be simple, but if it is repeated with the feeling of provision, it becomes powerful. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Let this be the new short sentence, where the old short sentences once lived. When the old sentence says, I am behind, the new command says, I am already provided for. When the old sentence says, money is hard, the new command says, money comes naturally. When the old sentence says, I do not know what to do, the new command says, I am provided for, and the way is opening. When the old sentence says, nothing ever comes easily, the new command says, money comes naturally to the state I occupy. When the old sentence says, I am tired of trying, the new command says, I do not need to try from lack, I sleep in provision. This is not battle. This is replacement. This is the old lullaby of fear being replaced by the new lullaby of wealth. For years, perhaps, the mind has sung itself to sleep with worry. It has sung, what if, not enough, too late, how will I manage, I am behind. Tonight, another song begins. Let the rhythm matter. The rhythm helps the deeper mind receive. Do not say the command sharply, let it breathe. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Again, I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Let there be space between the halves. The first half gives safety, the second half gives natural flow. The first half tells the body, you are held. The second half tells the mind, you do not chase. The second half releases pursuit. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. If the body is tired, let the command be even shorter for a while. Provided for, money comes naturally, or shorter still, provided for, natural money, or even more simply, it is handled, the way is open. But return when you can to the whole command. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Do not think that simplifying a long, complicated statement may keep the waking mind active. It may cause the mind to remember, organize, correct, and repeat with tension. But a simple sentence can pass beneath the surface. It can become breath. It can become feeling. It can become the last inner sound before sleep takes you. The command must be simple enough to fall asleep with, because falling asleep is not an interruption of the work. Falling asleep is part of the work. If the command carries you into sleep, it has entered the chamber. If the command becomes the final atmosphere, the subconscious receives it. You do not need to remain wide awake, guarding it. You do not need to finish a performance. You need only let the command be alive as sleep comes. Perhaps the words will become less clear. That is all right. Perhaps the sentence will fade into only the feeling of being provided for. That is even better. The words are the vessel. The words are the seed coat. The feeling is the life within. When the conscious mind no longer holds the sentence, the feeling may continue in the deep. The subconscious does not require perfect pronunciation. It receives impression. So if, as sleep approaches, all that remains is a soft inner sense of provided for, that is enough. If all that remains is the bodily feeling that money is no longer something to chase, that is enough. If all that remains is the quiet conviction that the way is opening, that is enough. The command has done its work when it becomes state. Now, let us make this command more familiar. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. This means I am not waiting to become worthy. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. This means I am not begging for permission from appearances. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. This means I am entering the state money must obey. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. This means I can sleep before the proof, because proof is the child of state. Let each repetition do less to excite the mind and more to settle the body. The purpose is not to awaken you with ambition. The purpose is to lull the old self to sleep and let the new self descend. Wealth is a quiet state. It is the feeling of being supplied. It is the feeling of being supported. It is the feeling that money has its natural roads. It is the feeling that the law is working silently. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. This command may seem too simple to the restless mind, but the restless mind has not created peace through complexity. Let simplicity teach it now. Let the deeper mind receive what the restless mind could not form. Let the sentence become a path worn gently through the old forest of thought. Each return makes the path clearer. Each soft repetition makes the command more natural. Each night slept under the command weakens the old instruction and strengthens the new one. You may use supporting phrases as you need them. If the mind asks how, say the bridge is forming. If the body feels pressure, say it is already handled. If the heart feels alone, say I am supported now. If the old self feels afraid, say I am provided for. If the thought of money awakens the chase, say money comes naturally. But let all these phrases return to the central command, like rivers returning to the sea. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. This is the home phrase. This is the sleep phrase. This is the throne phrase. This is the command that can be carried into the deep. The conscious mind may want to ask, say it until it begins to say itself. Say it until it feels softer. Say it until the body gives even the smallest sign of relief. Say it until it becomes less like a claim and more like an atmosphere. Say it until sleep can take it from you. Then let sleep take it. Do not count. Counting may wake the mind into effort. Do not strain for a number. Let the phrase return naturally. The law is not moved by arithmetic, it is moved by assumption. 10 lifeless repetitions are not equal to one accepted feeling, but many gentle repetitions, each clothed in a little more ease, can make the state familiar. Familiarity becomes naturalness. Naturalness becomes acceptance. Acceptance becomes manifestation. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Let the first words remove waiting. I am already. No more postponement. Let the middle words create safety. Money comes naturally. No more begging. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Feel how the command begins with being, not doing. I am. It does not begin with I must. It does not begin with I will force. It does not begin with I need to find. It begins with I am. And from I am, the whole world is arranged. I am already provided for. Money comes naturally. This is the proper. Do not reverse the order tonight. Do not say, when money comes naturally, then I will be provided for. That is the old world speaking. The command says, I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Provision is the state. Natural money is the effect. The inner command is the cause. The outer arrangement follows. Now let the phrase become more dreamlike. I am already provided for. Money comes naturally. The way is open. It is handled. The law works in silence. I am already provided for. Money comes naturally. If the mind begins to drift, let it drift around these words. If sleep begins to come, do not pull yourself back. Let the command go with you. Let it be the last thought, if it remains a thought. Let it be the last feeling, if it becomes feeling. Let it be the last atmosphere, if words fade away. The deeper self knows what to do with it. Tonight, do not burden yourself with many dollars. Do not carry the whole teaching like a weight. Carry the command. The command contains the teaching. I am already provided for means you understand I am. It means you understand assumption. It means you understand that consciousness precedes form. Money comes naturally means you understand that money is effect, not cause. It means you understand that the chase is over. It means you understand naturalness. So one sentence carries the law. I am already provided. Let it settle into the inner room. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Let it become the new rhythm. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Let it replace the old command. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Let it be simple enough to sleep with. This is how the command becomes a lullaby for the deeper self. Not a lullaby that merely comforts, but a lullaby that reprograms. A lullaby of the end, accepted. A lullaby of the old chase ending. A lullaby of the bridge forming in silence. Tonight the command will not be complicated. It will not be heavy. It will not demand perfect concentration. It will not awaken fear. It will become simple, rhythmic, emotional, and clear. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. This is enough. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. This is the command. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. And tonight, this command will become a lullaby for the deeper self. Now, my friend, the command has been chosen, and it has been made simple enough for sleep. But there is another mystery you must understand before it can descend fully into the deep. The body must feel the command. The command must not remain a sentence floating in the head, beautiful perhaps, but untouched by the rest of you. For the subconscious does not receive words in their deepest power while they remain only mental. It receives the atmosphere they create. It receives the feeling they awaken. It receives the state they make bodily. The body is the instrument of feeling. It is the harp upon which consciousness plays its music. A thought may pass through the mind like a bird across the sky, but a feeling settles into the body like weather. The subconscious listens to that weather. It listens to the tightness, the release, the contraction, the ease, the hidden yes, the hidden no. The lips may say one thing, but the body often reveals the state that has truly been accepted. This is why I tell you that the wealth command must be allowed to touch the body gently, not forced, not pushed, not imposed with violence. Allowed, the command is not a whip, it is a warmth. It is not something you strike the body with in order to make it obey. It is something you let the body taste until the body begins to agree. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Do not hold these words only in the head. Let them descend. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Let the shoulders hear them. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Let the breath hear them. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Let the chest hear them. Let the hands, the face, the heart, and the quiet places of the body hear them. For if the head says, I am wealthy, but the body says, danger, the subconscious receives danger. If the head says, money comes naturally, but the body says, I must chase, the subconscious receives chase. If the head says, it is done, but the mind says, what if, and the heart is trembling under the question, the subconscious receives uncertainty. This does not mean the words are useless. It means the words must be clothed in feeling before they become command. A false command is not false because the words are wrong. It is false because the state beneath it remains unchanged. A man may say, I am rich, while his body is braced as one threatened by poverty. The subconscious hears the brace. A woman may say, I am supplied, while her breath is shallow and her heart is asking whether tomorrow will destroy her peace. The subconscious hears the question. One may say, it is handled, while inwardly gripping the problem with both hands. The subconscious receives the grip. The deep mind is not deceived by eloquence. It is impressed by conviction. And conviction is not always loud. Often conviction is bodily. It is the way the shoulders rest, when the burden is no longer believed to be yours alone. It is the way the breath widens, when the heart no longer expects attack. It is the way the jaw loosens, when the argument is over. It is the way the hands open, when the future is no longer being held in fear. It is the way the forehead smooths, when the old calculation is released. It is the way the heart feels less hunted. So tonight, let us not merely repeat the command. Let us allow the command to become atmosphere. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. If this were true for you now, how would the shoulders? Would they remain lifted and tense, as though carrying every road, every letter, every sum, every possible tomorrow? Or would they soften, perhaps only a little, as though some invisible weight had been lifted? Let them soften if they will. Do not command them harshly. Invite them into the truth of provision. I am already provided for. The shoulders do not need to hold the whole world. I am already provided for. The burden is not carried by muscle. I am already. The law supports what the body has tried to carry alone. Now let the jaw listen. A clenched jaw often says what the mouth does not. I must endure. I must resist. I must prepare. I must not break. But if you are already provided for, if money comes naturally to the state you occupy, if the bridge is forming in silence, must the jaw continue the old argument? Let it loosen a little. Let the teeth separate. Let the face remember it. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. The jaw loosens because the command is not a battle. The jaw loosens because the old argument is not tonight's final word. The jaw loosens because provision does not require clenching. The jaw loosens because the door opens inward. Now the breath. The breath is one of the first witnesses of state. When the old command rules, breath often becomes narrow. It moves as though life was scarce. It prepares for danger that has not yet arrived. But when the command of provision begins to be received, breath widens. It does not need to be dragged in. It does not need to be managed. It begins to come as though there is room. I am already provided for. Let the breath make a little more room. Money comes naturally. Let the breath stop chasing. The way is open. Let the breath enter and leave without fear. The bridge is forming. Let the breath trust what it cannot see. Do not use the breath as another discipline of effort. Simply notice that a supplied state breathes differently from a frightened state. A provided for state breathes differently from an abandoned state. A wealthy state, inwardly understood, breathes differently from a begging state. Let the body begin to teach you this. Now the chest. Many carry the financial story in the chest. A pressure, a holding, a guarded place, a feeling that something is waiting to strike. The chest becomes the vault of old fears, old disappointments, old responsibilities, old sentences spoken in darkness. But the command is meant to enter there too, not as force, as release. I am already provided for. Let the chest hear that it is not alone. Money comes naturally. Let the chest hear that money is not master, it is handled. Let the chest hear that the matter does not need to be solved through fear tonight. The bridge is formed. Perhaps the chest releases only a little. That little release is holy. Do not demand more from it. The body may have served the old command for many years. It may not lay down all its armor in one breath. But one softening is the beginning of a new allegiance. One small release says, I am willing to feel provided for. And the subconscious hears willingness. Now the hands. The hands reveal much. They may grip the blanket. They may curl slightly as though holding. They may rest uneasily as though ready to grasp the future. But if you are already provided for, what must the hands hold tonight? They need not hold money by force. They need not hold the road. They need not hold every possibility. They may rest, and in resting they become the hands of one who receives. I do not chase, the hands may rest. I do not beg, the hands may open. I do not force, the hands may soften. I receive. The body of one who chases is not the body of one who receives. The body of one who begs is not the body of one who is supplied. The body of one who forces is not the body of one who has accepted. And because the body is the instrument of feeling, it must be gently invited into the new role. Now the forehead. The forehead often carries the strain of trying to solve life through thought. The brow tightens when the mind calculates, compares, anticipates, and watches. But the wealth command is not received through a tightened brow. It is received when reason begins to soften, when the old insistence of appearances loses its grip, when the mind stops demanding to know the how before it allows rest. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Let the forehead smooth, the way is open. Let the old calculations grow dim, the seed is planted. Let the mind stop digging, the bridge is forming. Let the forehead no longer search for every stone of the bridge. The law works in silence. Let thought become quieter. Again, do not force it. Allow it. If the mind continues moving, let it move more slowly. If a thought appears, let it pass by without becoming king. If a question arises, answer it with the command, not with argument. The mind says, how? The command says, the bridge is forming. The mind says, when? The mind says, what if? The command says, I am already provided for. And now the heart. The heart must feel less hunted. Many people live as though tomorrow is pursuing them. They lie down, and tomorrow follows them into the bed. The unpaid thing, the unresolved thing, the unknown thing, the possible disappointment, the old memory, the old fear. The heart feels chased by what has not yet happened. But the command of provision changes. Tomorrow is not the hunter. Tomorrow is servant to the state you sleep in tonight. I am already provided for. The heart is not hunted. Money comes naturally. The heart is not begging. The way is open. The heart is not trapped. The bridge is forming. The heart is not alone. The law works in silence. The heart may rest. This is what it means for the body to feel the command. It means the command becomes more than language. It becomes posture, breath. It becomes a quiet change in the way the body lies before sleep. And when the command becomes bodily atmosphere, the subconscious begins to receive it more deeply. Let us contrast this with the old way so you may recognize it without shame. The old way says, I am wealthy, but the body remains on guard. The shoulders stay raised, the jaw remains locked, the breath stays small, the heart listens for danger. This is not yet the state of wealth. It is fear wearing a crown. The old way says, money comes naturally, but the body is leaning forward, reaching, chasing, looking, wondering where it is. This is not yet naturalness. It is pursuit dressed in spiritual words. The subconscious hears pursuit. It hears, money is not here, and I must run after it. Therefore, the command must become a bodily end to chase. The old way says, it is done, but the mind immediately says, what if nothing comes? What if I wake tomorrow unchanged? This is not completion. It is uncertainty with the phrase completion placed over it. Again, do not condemn yourself. Simply see the difference. The phrase must be allowed to touch the body until the body begins to say, yes, perhaps it is done. Perhaps I may rest. Perhaps I do not need to hold the world together tonight. The true command does not require the body to pretend violently. It invites the body in. It does not say, stop feeling fear at once. It says, let fear loosen a little, because another state is being chosen. It does not say, you must feel perfectly wealthy now. It says feel provided for enough to sleep differently. It does not say you must produce a grand emotion. It says let one small release become the doorway. This is merciful. You do not need to force the whole body into belief tonight. You only need to let the command touch one place. Perhaps the shoulders soften, perhaps the breath opens, perhaps the hands rest, perhaps the chest releases, perhaps the forehead becomes smoother. Perhaps the heart feels a little less hunted. One place is enough to begin. The body is a kingdom too, and when one gate opens, the command has begun to enter. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Where does the body answer? Listen gently. Does the breath answer? Does the chest answer? Do the shoulders answer? Does the heart answer? Does the face answer? Do not judge. Simply allow. The command should not be forced. It should be allowed. Force belongs to the old state of trying. Allowing belongs to the new state of receiving. When you force the command into the body may resist because force feels like danger. But when you allow the command to approach, the body may begin to trust it. The body may say, this is not another demand. This is rest. This is safety. This is provision. Think of a frightened child. You do not calm him by shouting peace into his face. You come near. So it is with the body. If the body has known financial fear, do not shout wealth at it. Speak provision softly. Let the body feel that the command is not another pressure. It is the end of pressure. I am already provided for. This is safety. Money comes naturally. This is release. The way is open. This is space. The bridge is forming. This is trust. The law works in silence. This is rest. A harsh tone awakens defense. A soft tone opens the inner room. If the command is spoken inwardly with tension, it may feel like another task. If it is spoken with tenderness, it becomes a place to rest. The subconscious is not merely hearing the words, it is receiving the whole inner climate. This is why sleep work must be slow. If you hurry through the command, you may keep it in the head. If you slow down, the body. If you pause after I am already provided for, the chest may hear it. If you pause after money comes naturally, the hands may release. If you pause after the bridge is forming, the mind may stop demanding every step. The pause allows the command to descend. I am already provided for. Pause. Money comes naturally. Pause. I am already provided for. Pause. Money comes naturally. It is the place where the body answers. It is the place where the feeling forms. It is the place where the subconscious listens. Now, if the body does not soften immediately, do not make that another cause for struggle. Do not say, I am failing. That would only be another old command. Instead, say, the body is learning a new state. The body may have been trained by years of vigilance. It may have learned to tighten before sleep. It may have learned that rest must be earned. Tonight, it is learning another truth. Learning can be gentle. The old body memory says, I must be ready. The new command says, I am provided for. The old body memory says, money is a threat. The new command says, money comes naturally. The old body memory says, tomorrow may harm me. The new command says, the way is open. The old body memory says, the new command says, the bridge is forming. Each time the command is spoken gently, the body is invited out of the old program. This is true reprogramming, not the mind merely repeating new words while the body continues living in old fear. Reprogramming occurs when words, feeling, and bodily atmosphere begin to agree. When the head says, I am provided for, and the breath begins to widen, the program is changing. When the phrase money comes naturally, no longer awakens chase, but begins to awaken calm, the program is changing. When it is done, produces even a small release instead of a sharp question, the program is changing. Do not wait for a dramatic sign. The first sign may be subtle. The first sign may be that you do not feel quite as hunted. The first sign may be that the old financial story seems a little farther away. The first sign may be that the command feels less impossible than before. The first sign may be sleep itself arriving more peacefully. These are not small in the deep. These are the body beginning to accept the command. Now, in the quiet, imagine the body as a house at night. For a long time, perhaps the house has had lamps burning in every room. The room of worry, the room of calculation, the room of old memory. But one by one, the lamps are being extinguished, not by force, by the arrival of a deeper peace. The command walks through the house softly, and each room becomes still. I am already provided for. A lamp goes out in the room of fear. Money comes naturally. A lamp goes out in the room of chase. The way is open. A lamp goes out in the room of obstruction. The bridge is forming. A lamp goes out, and in the quiet house, the subconscious receives. This is the state you are entering. A quiet house, a body no longer at war, a mind no longer standing guard over lack, a heart no longer hunted by tomorrow. In such a body, the command can descend. In such a body, the words are no longer floating in the head. They have become atmosphere. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Let it touch the breath as though it were permission to exhale. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Let it touch the chest as though it were good news quietly received. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Let it touch the heart as though tomorrow has lost its power to threaten. There is nothing to force here. I am already provided for, even here. Money comes naturally, even as the body learns. The way is open, even if the old habit has not vanished. The bridge is forming, even if I cannot see every step. The law works in silence, even while I sleep. The command does not need a perfect body. It needs a body willing to receive. It does not need total absence of fear. It needs the withdrawal of identity. It needs one honest softening, one inward yes, one place where provision is allowed to be felt. So tonight, let the body become the instrument of the new command. Let the shoulders soften into provision. Let the jaw loosen into support. Let the breath widen into supply. Let the chest release into the feeling that it is handled. Let the hands rest as receiving hands. Let the forehead smooth as the mind stops trying to. Let the heart feel less hunted because the state has changed. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. This is not merely a thought now. It is a bodily atmosphere. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. This is not merely a phrase now. It is becoming a state. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. This is not merely spoken now. It is descending, and when. Now, my friend, we must go even deeper into the law, for there is a misunderstanding that has kept many sincere souls bound to the very condition from which they prayed to be free. They have believed that need itself would command the answer. They have believed that because they needed money greatly, money must come. They have believed that the intensity of the need, the pressure of the need, the ache of the need, the fear inside the need would somehow move. But I tell you, need by itself is not command. Need, if it remains need, reproduces the state of needing. This may sound severe until it is understood with love. I do not say this to blame you for having needed. Need is human. Need may be painful. Need may bring tears. Need may keep the mind awake while the world is quiet. Need may press upon the chest and make tomorrow feel heavy. I know the fear. Where is the provision? I know the trembling of the heart when it feels that money is required and yet seems absent. So do not hear condemnation in this teaching. Hear liberation. Need is not sin. Need is not failure. Need is not proof that you are unworthy. Need is simply not the state that creates fulfillment. Need is the cry that tells you a new state must be assumed. Need points to the desire. Assumption fulfills. Assumption says, I enter the state in which it is mine. Need reveals the hunger. State becomes the bread. Need awakens you to the door. State walks through it. Many need money. And because they need it, they think constantly of money. They worry over it. They count the lack of it. They imagine the danger of not having it. They speak inwardly of what may happen if it does not come. They pray from the fear of absence. And then they ask why money has not obeyed. But money does not obey need. It obeys state. The subconscious receives the state of needing, not the moral argument that the need should be answered. The subconscious does not say, this person needs relief, therefore I will produce relief. It receives the feeling being lived in. If the feeling is need, it reproduces needing. If the feeling is lack, it reproduces lack. If the feeling is fear, it reproduces conditions that seem to justify fear. The subconscious is not cruel, it is faithful. This is why the law must be understood. If a man says, I need money, and feels the weight of that need as identity, he has not yet entered supply. He is still in need. If a woman says, I need help, and sleeps as one unsupported, the subconscious receives unsupportedness. If one says, I must get money, with the body leaning forward in desperation, the deep mind receives chase. And what is received must be reflected until the state is changed. Money obeys state. It moves toward the consciousness that is inwardly supplied, open, expectant, and natural. It moves toward the state where receiving is not strange. It moves toward the one who has ceased worshipping money. It moves toward the one who can inwardly say, not from arrogance but from law, I am provided for, and money comes naturally. Need says, where is it? State says, it is mine in consciousness. Need says, I must get money. State says, money comes naturally. Need says, I am unsafe. State says, I am provided for. Need says, how will I manage? State says, the bridge is. State says, the seed is planted. Need says, I cannot rest until I see it. State says, I rest because I have accepted it. Need says, life has not answered me. State says, life answers the command I sleep in tonight. Do you feel the difference? Need reaches outward. State settles inward. Need asks the visible world to rescue it. State enters the invisible cause. Need lives before the answer. Need is the feeling of separation from the desired thing. State is the feeling of inward possession. This is why I have urged you again and again, not merely to want, but to be. Not merely to desire money, but to become the one who is supplied. Not merely to ask for help, but to assume support. Not merely to plead for a way, but to sleep in the feeling that the way is already open. A wish may awaken the journey, but need may tell you what must be transformed, but assumption is the transformation. Now perhaps the mind objects and says, but I truly need it. Am I to deny this? No, my friend, you are not asked to deny the cry of the heart. You are not asked to pretend that the visible condition does not appear as it appears. You are not asked to call pressure pleasant or uncertainty easy. You are asked to stop making the. You are asked to move from the state that says, I am without, into the state that says, I am provided for. There is a great difference between noticing a need and sleeping as need. You may notice that money is required. That is an observation. But to say inwardly, I am needy, I am unsafe, I am abandoned, I am far from provision, that is a state. You may notice an obligation, that is an appearance. You may notice that a path is not yet visible, that is a temporary fact. But to say, there is no way, that is an assumption. And assumption, if persisted in, hardens into fact. Therefore tonight, the work is not to deny what the senses report. The work is to refuse to let the senses dictate the state. The senses may report a figure, a letter, a delay, a silence, an absence. I am is the throne. And from that throne, the new state is chosen. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. This is not spoken because the senses have already agreed. It is spoken because consciousness is cause. It is spoken because the outer world follows the inner command. It is spoken because need has ruled long enough. It is spoken because the state of supply must now. They say, I am abundant, but then immediately return to asking, where is it? They say money comes easily, but then sleep in the feeling, I must find it quickly, or I am lost. They say, I trust, but the body says, I am unsafe. They say it is done, but the mind says, what if nothing happens? And again, the subconscious receives the deeper state. This is not failure, it is only divided. The lips speak supply, the body sleeps in need, the mind repeats a phrase, the heart wears panic. But tonight we are bringing the command into unity. The word, the feeling, and the body are being brought into the same state. I am provided for. Let the body receive provision. Money comes naturally. Let the chase loosen. The way is open. Let the mind stop striking against the wall. The bridge. Let the heart rest before proof. Money obeys this state. It does not obey panic. Panic may keep the mind busy, but it does not plant wealth. Panic plants more conditions that seem to require panic. Need may seem urgent, but urgency is not the same as authority. True authority is calm because it already stands in the end. The command that reprograms the mind is not the scream of need. It is the still. Think of a man standing outside a house in the cold, knocking, trembling, pleading, let me in, let me in. That is need. Now think of the same man inside the house, seated by the fire, knowing the house is his. He does not shout at the walls. He does not plead with the door. His whole posture says possession. That is state. The outer world responds to the inner posture, not merely to the words. If you sleep as the one within the house, you plant possession. If you sleep as the one needing money, you plant needing. If you sleep as the one supplied, you plant supply. The difference is not small. It is the difference between cause and effect. It is the difference between waiting for life to decide and deciding in consciousness. It is the difference between being ruled by the old command and giving the new command from the throne of I am. Need says, I must get money because I am lacking. State says, money comes naturally because I am supplied. Need says, I cannot breathe until the money appears. State says, I breathe as one for whom the matter is already handled. Need says, the outer world must change before I can feel safe. State says, I feel the safety of provision, and the outer world must follow. Need says, State says, circumstance is at the mercy of consciousness. Now do not let that last sentence become harsh. This is not the arrogance of the little personality. It is the recognition of law. Consciousness is cause, circumstance is effect. The state within is the pattern, the world without is the embroidery. If the pattern is need, the embroidery shows need. If the pattern is provision, provision begins to appear in the... You are being invited to rise. The law is not saying, how dare you need? The law is saying, do not remain in need when you can assume the end. It is a call upward. It is a hand extended inwardly. It says, come out of the state of begging. Come out of the state of waiting. Come out of the state of waiting. Come out of the state of financial fear. Enter the state that money must obey. What state must money? The state in which money is not felt as distant, hostile, difficult, or rare. The state in which money is one of the normal expressions of life. The state in which provision is expected not with anxiety, but with calm confidence. The state in which the way may be unseen, yet the heart is not threatened by the unseen. This state is not loud. It does not parade itself. It may feel surprisingly simple. It may feel like a small inward knowing that the burden does not define you. It may feel like saying, the matter is handled, and not needing to explain how. It may feel like the body no longer living as though tomorrow is an enemy. Need has a bodily feeling too. It contracts, it watches, it reaches, it tightens, it asks the same question again and again. It sleeps lightly because it feels hunted. It stands inwardly where the wish is fulfilled. This is why before sleep you must move the body from need into provision. I am already provided for. Let that answer the body's need for safety. Money comes naturally. Let that answer the mind's habit of chasing. The way is open. Let that answer the fear of obstruction. The bridge is forming. Let that answer the question of how. The law works in silence. One by one the claims of need are met by the state. If the old voice says, where is it? Answer, it is mine in consciousness. If it says, I must get money, answer, money comes naturally. If it says, I am unsafe, answer, I am provided for. If it says, I am alone, answer, I am supported. If it says, I do not know how, answer, the bridge is forming. But answer softly. Do not turn this into a battle. The old voice of need is not conquered by fighting. It is dissolved by occupying a higher state. You do not fight darkness with your hands. You bring light. You do not fight the feeling of need by panicking against it. You enter provision. Provision is the answer. A man in need often thinks the solution is to think more of money. But thinking more of money from need often the solution is to change the state from which money is contemplated. Think of money from supply, and money becomes servant. Think of money from fear, and money becomes master. Think of money from state, and money begins to obey. Think of money from need, and need remains enthroned. So tonight, money is not to be feared, chased, worshipped, or begged. Money is to be placed beneath state. The state is money is one of its effects. The state of provision is cause. Payment, opportunity, favor, and help are effects. The state of support is cause. The helping hand, the opened road, the right idea, the timely word are effects. This understanding brings great rest. You no longer need to command every effect separately. You do not need to name every coin, every person, every root, A tree does not try to push every leaf into place. It lives from its root, and the leaves come in order. Consciousness is the root. State is the root. Money is a leaf, a fruit, a visible form. Do not live as the leaf. Live as the root. Need lives among leaves. It says, where is this leaf? Where is that fruit? Why is this branch bare? State returns to the root and says, I am. Now, perhaps there is a real financial pressure in your life. Perhaps there is something that must be answered. Let it be included in the state, not used to deny the state. Do not say, because this pressure exists, I am unsafe. Say, this pressure is an old appearance, but I am provided for. Do not say, because I do not yet see the money, money is far. Say, money comes naturally and the bridge is forming. Do not say, I am supported now. This is not ignoring life, it is taking command of the cause. The outer matter may still be attended to in its proper hour, but before sleep you are not solving by panic. You are impressing the deep with the state of solution. You are not sleeping in the problem, you are sleeping in the answer. Need sleeps in the problem. State sleeps in the answer. Need sleeps in the question. Need sleeps in lack. State sleeps in wealth. Which one shall enter the subconscious tonight? This question is not asked to frighten you. It is asked to awaken your power. You have carried need long enough. You have known its voice. You have known its weight. You have known how it makes the night feel narrow. Now you are learning another way. You are learning to let the body lie down, not as one abandoned by money, but as one supplied by consciousness. You are learning to sleep in the state money must obey. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Let this phrase lift you out of need without denying that need was felt. It honors the desire and transforms the state. It says, I know what I desire, but I will not sleep in the absence of it. I will sleep in its fulfillment. It says, I know money is wanted, but I will not make wanting my identity. It says, I know the outer world has shown one thing, but consciousness now chooses another. The old financial self says, I need money. The new self says, I am supplied. The old financial self says, I must make it happen. The new self says, money comes naturally. The old financial self says, I am unsafe. The new self says, I am provided for. The old financial self says, I cannot sleep until. The new self says, the law knows, and I sleep. The old financial self says, I am at the mercy of tomorrow. The new self says, tomorrow is servant to the state I accept tonight. Let the new self become more attractive than the old. Let provision feel warmer than panic. Let support feel truer than loneliness. Let natural money feel more restful than chasing. Let the state become the home to which you return. Do not open the door and invite it to sleep beside you. Instead, let the command be the room in which you rest. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Need may stand outside with its questions, but you are inside the state. You are inside provision. You are inside the command. And if need returns tomorrow, you will know what to do. You will not condemn yourself. You will not say, I have failed. You will simply recognize an old state asking to be worn again, and you will decline. You will return to the command. You will return to the throne. You will return to I am supplied. Every return strengthens the new program. Every return trains the subconscious in a new law of identity. Tonight, however, we are not concerned with tomorrow's practice. Tonight is for sleep. Tonight is for the state. Tonight is for removing the. Take off the garment that says, I am unsafe. Put on, I am provided for. Take off the garment that says, I must chase. Put on, money comes naturally. Take off the garment that says, I do not know how. Put on, the bridge is forming. Take off the garment that says, I am alone. Put on, I am supported. Take off the garment that says, I need. Put on, I am supplied. Let the chest feel provided for. Let the breath feel supported. Let the hands feel receiving. Let the mind feel less required to chase. This is how state replaces need. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Say it inwardly now, as one who is not asking money to rescue them, but as one who has entered the state money must serve. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Not because I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Not because fear demands it, but because consciousness commands it. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Not because I chase, but because I receive. The subconscious receives this new state. It receives the sense of provision. It receives the end of chase. It receives the identity of one supplied. And as it receives the old program, it fades as the new state becomes familiar. It fades as the new command is slept in. It fades as money is no longer treated as master, but as effect. There is peace in this. There is order in this. There is rest in this. For you are no longer trying to make need powerful enough to bring money. You are no longer presenting your fear as proof that you deserve relief. You are no longer asking the universe to respond to panic. You are entering the state of the wish fulfilled, and the state will command the forms. Money does not obey need, it obeys state. And tonight, the state is provision. Tonight, the state is supply. Tonight, the state is support. Tonight, the state is natural receiving. Tonight, the state is I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. So you will no longer sleep in financial need. You will not let the pillow receive where is it as the last command. You will not enter the deep as the one who must get money. You will enter the deep as the one for whom money comes naturally. Tonight you will no longer sleep in financial need. Tonight you will sleep in the state money must obey. Now, my friend, we come to one of the softest and most powerful commands you can carry into sleep. It is not a command of noise. It is not the feeling of wild luxury, not the fever of possession, not the restless thrill of imagining more and more. Tonight we go beneath all that. We go to the emotional heart of this work. We go to relief. Relief is a holy feeling when it is understood. Relief is the body's confession that the burden is no longer being carried in the old way. Relief is the quiet exhale after the matter has been settled. Relief is the soft loosening of the heart when it no longer feels hunted by tomorrow. Relief is what many people are truly seeking when they say they desire money. They may speak of sums, of payment, of security, of freedom, of doors opening, of obligations being met. But beneath all these forms, there is one feeling they long for: relief. If money would bring relief, then relief assumed now. If the money came, what would you feel? If the pressure ended, what would you feel? If the payment were made, what would you feel? If the debt were settled, what would you feel? If the answer arrived, if the door opened, if the opportunity were given, if the burden disappeared, what would the body do first? It would not need to shout. It would not need to explain. It would exhale. It would soften. It would rest. And that relief, assumed before sleep, is creative. The world teaches you to wait for relief. It says, when the outer matter is solved, then you may breathe. It says, when the money comes, then you may rest. It says, when the letter arrives, then you may feel safe. It says, when the pressure is gone, then you may sleep. But the law, when truly understood, reverses the order. It says, enter the feeling first. It says, assume the relief. It says, feel the end, and the end will find its road. It says, what would be caused by the event may also cause the event when assumed. This is the law of reversibility. If an event would produce a feeling, then the feeling assumed can produce the event or its equivalent. If the payment being made would make you feel relieved, then relief is the state of the payment made. If the letter arriving would make you feel settled, then the feeling of settlement is the state of the letter received. If the debt being cleared would make the body exhale, then the exhale of completion is the state of debt cleared. If the opportunity being given would make you feel remembered, then the feeling of being remembered is the state from which opportunity may appear. Men have been taught to live from effect to cause. They say, let the world change first, and then I will change. But imagination teaches cause to effect. You assume the inner state, and the world must rearrange to explain it. You feel relief, and the law gives relief a reason. You feel it is handled, and life builds the bridge by which it becomes handled. You feel provided for, and money or its equivalent finds the channel. This is not fantasy. This is the proper use of consciousness. The command tonight is simple. It is already handled. Let it be soft. Not as a strain, not as a desperate attempt to cover fear. Say it as one who has heard good news in the quiet and is letting the body receive it. It is already handled. This phrase does not require the conscious mind to know the road. It does not require the senses to agree. It does not require a sudden vision of grandeur. It asks only that the body taste the feeling of completion. It is already handled. What happens in the body when a matter is handled? The shoulders no longer need to rise toward the ears. The jaw no longer needs to lock. The chest no longer needs to hold a secret alarm. The stomach no longer needs to brace against an imagined blow. The hands no longer need to grip. The mind no longer needs to run ahead into tomorrow. The heart no longer needs to ask, again and again, will I be safe? It is already handled. Let that phrase move slowly through you. Now imagine, not with force, but with tenderness, that the thing that seemed to stand before you as a question is no longer a question. The matter is marked complete. It is no longer open, no longer pressing, no longer waiting like a shadow at the edge of thought. The payment is made. What does the body feel? Relief, not noise. Relief, not strain. Relief, not the effort to believe. Relief. The payment is made, and the body exhales. The payment is made, and the shoulders soften. The payment is made, and the heart says, I am provided for. That feeling is the command. Now imagine the letter arrives. It may be a letter in the hand, an answer received, a message delivered in the old ordinary way of life. You hold it. The words are favorable. The uncertainty ends. The matter that had lived in imagination as a threat now appears as a relief. The letter arrives, and the body receives the end. What does the body feel? The heart is no longer leaning forward in fear. The mind no longer needs to invent 100 possible outcomes. It is settled. The letter arrives. Relief. The answer is favorable. Relief. The matter is settled. Relief. It is already handled. Now imagine the debt is settled. Not as a great dramatic scene, not as a performance, but as a quiet inward fact. The old burden is no longer standing over you. The account is no longer a voice of accusation. The weight that followed you into the evening has been removed. The debt is settled. What is the feeling? Relief. The body does not need to argue. It knows. It feels the end. The debt is settled. The pressure loosens. The debt is settled. The breath becomes wider. The debt is settled. The old fear no longer has the same authority. It is already handled. Now imagine the opportunity is given. A door opens. Someone speaks a word in your favor. A possibility appears, and you know that it carries provision. The opportunity is given, and the heart feels remembered. The opportunity is given, and the mind no longer says, there is no way. The opportunity is given, and the body feels the release of being met by life. What is the feeling? Relief. The opportunity is given. Relief. The way opens. Relief. Life remembers me. Relief. It is already handled. Now imagine the pressure ends. Not only one payment, not only one letter, not only one visible form, but the pressure itself. That inner compression, that feeling of being hunted, that sense of having to hold everything together through worry, begins to dissolve. The pressure ends, and the body realizes it no longer needs to live in emergency. What is the feeling? Relief. A deep, simple relief. A feeling almost too ordinary to be called a miracle, and yet it is the very atmosphere in which the pressure ends, the body exhales, the pressure ends, the heart rests, the pressure ends, the mind grows quiet. It is already handled. This is the secret. You do not need to feel extreme luxury tonight. You do not need to imagine splendor so great that it awakens the mind and makes it doubt. You do not need to force yourself into some tremendous emotion. For sleep, relief is often more powerful than excitement. Excitement may stir the surface. Excitement may say, look what has happened. Relief says, the matter is done, and the subconscious receives completion. So do not trouble yourself if tonight the state of wealth feels not like grandeur, but like peace. Wealth, in its most merciful form, is peace. Wealth is the body not fearing tomorrow. Wealth is the chest releasing the weight of uncertainty. Wealth is the mind no longer circling the same problem. Wealth is the feeling that provision has found. Wealth is the quiet knowledge that the way is open and that you do not need to chase the road while you sleep. It is already handled. Let this be your wealth command of relief. It is already handled. If the conscious mind asks how, answer gently. The bridge is forming. It is already handled. If the conscious mind asks when, answer gently. The seed is planted. It is already handled. If the conscious mind asks through whom, answer gently. If the conscious mind says, but I cannot see it, answer gently. The unseen is where formation begins. The law of reversibility is not difficult. It is only unfamiliar to the mind trained by appearances. If a cause can produce an effect, then the effect assumed can imply the cause and call it forth. If hearing good news would produce relief, then relief assumed implies good news received. If money arriving would produce calm, then calm assumed. If the debt being settled would produce ease, then ease assumed implies the debt settled. Your task is not to reason out the whole chain. Your task is to enter the feeling of the end. The event and the feeling are joined. The event would produce the feeling in the ordinary way. But imagination, being creative, allows you to take the feeling first. When you take the feeling first and accept it as real, The outer event must come to justify the feeling. Life must give the inner state its visible correspondence. This is why relief is a command. It tells the subconscious the burden is lifted, and the subconscious begins to arrange the bridge by which the burden is lifted. In fact, now be very tender with yourself here. If there is fear in the body, do not fight it. Relief need not come as a flood at once. It may come as one small exhale. One small release is enough to begin. The old fear may have been practiced. The body may be accustomed to bracing. It may not yet know how to believe that the matter is handled. So do not demand that it believe all at once. Invite it. It is already handled. Let the body answer only a little. It is already handled. Let the shoulders soften only a little. It is already handled. Let the breath widen only a little. It is already handled. Let the heart feel only a little less hunted. A little relief accepted is. Do not measure by drama, measure by sincerity. If the body releases slightly, the command is entering. If the mind becomes quieter, the command is entering. If the phrase "it is already handled" begins to feel less like a statement and more like a place where you may rest, the command is entering. You may have thought wealth must feel like possession of a great outer thing, but for many, the true gateway is relief. If wealth would let you sleep, then sleep now in the feeling wealth would give. If wealth would let you breathe, breathe now as one provided for. If wealth would let you stop fearing the letter, the date, the obligation, the conversation, the unknown road, then feel the end of fear now, gently, as far as you can. That feeling is not pretending. It is entering the state from which the outer world must change. The payment is made. What does the body feel? Relief. What does the body feel? Relief. The debt is settled. What does the body feel? Relief. The opportunity is given. What does the body feel? Relief. The pressure ends. What does the body feel? Relief. The body exhales. That exhale is prayer when it is joined to assumption. That exhale is command when it is felt as the end. That exhale is the seed when it is carried into sleep. The exhale says, the exhale says, I am already provided for. The exhale says, money comes naturally. The exhale says, the law works in silence. Let the command be this simple. It is already handled. It is already handled. It is already handled. Not loud, not forced, not anxious, softly, like a warm hand over the heart. It is already handled. This command is powerful because it does not awaken the old chase. It does not say, solve everything before sleep. It does not say, hold the future tightly. It says, the matter is handled in consciousness and life must follow. It places you after the answer. It moves you from question to conclusion. It takes you from the old state of need into the state of completion. Need says, what will happen? Relief says, it is already handled. Need says, where is the money? Relief says, I am provided for. Need says, how will the pressure end? Relief says, the bridge is forming. Need says, I cannot rest yet. Relief says, rest is the state of the wish fulfilled. This is how relief reprograms the deep. It teaches the subconscious that you are no longer living before the answer. You are living after it. And after the answer, the body behaves differently. After the answer, the mind no longer runs in circles. After the answer, the heart is not hunted. After the answer, sleep is possible. So enter the after now. Enter the feeling after the payment, after the letter, after the debt, after the opportunity, after the pressure. Enter the after, and the before must rearrange itself into a bridge. A bridge of incidents often begins from such quiet assumption. You may not see it at once. You may not hear the machinery. You may not know who is being moved, what decision is changing, what idea is forming, what road is opening, what event is being rearranged. That is not your burden tonight. The law works in silence. Your burden was never to see every movement. Your part is to assume the end. Relief assumes the end. It is already handled. The seed is planted. The bridge is forming. The law works in silence. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Let these phrases gather around the body like a soft covering. Do not use them to awaken thinking. Use them to quiet thinking. Each phrase should release something. It is already handled, releases pressure. The seed is planted, releases effort. The bridge is forming, releases the how. The law works in silence, releases supervision. I am already provided for, releases fear. Money comes naturally, releases chase. If one phrase gives you relief, remain with it. Perhaps tonight the most powerful phrase is not long. Perhaps it is simply handled. Let that word carry the feeling. Handled. The matter is handled. The burden is handled. The road is handled. The means are handled. The timing is handled. The bridge is handled. The unseen is handled. My part is to sleep in the state. Handled. Let the body hear the word. Handled. Let the chest release. Handled. Let in the silence after the word, relief may come. And in that relief, the command is alive. Now I want you to notice how different relief feels from desperation. Desperation leans forward. Relief rests back. Desperation grasps at the future. Relief allows the future to arrive in order. Desperation says, I must make it happen. Relief says, it is already handled. Desperation keeps the body awake in fear. Relief treats money as one form of supply. If you fall asleep in desperation, the subconscious receives desperation. If you fall asleep in relief, the subconscious receives completion. This is why the feeling before sleep matters. The final state becomes the instruction. The final atmosphere enters the chamber. Tonight, let the final atmosphere be relief. You are not required to solve the outer matter tonight. You are not required to know every step. You are not required to feel a great wave of certainty. You are only invited to feel the gentle bodily exhale of completion. It is already handled. Let the command become a breath. It is already handled. Let the command become a resting place. It is already handled. Let the command become the new answer to the old fear. The payment is made. Relief. The letter arrives. Relief. The debt is settled. Relief. The opportunity is given. It is already handled. You see, the body does not need 1,000 explanations. It needs a new signal. For perhaps the old signal has been danger. The old signal has been not enough. The old signal has been hurry, brace, chase, fear, calculate, prepare for loss. But relief sends another signal. Relief says safe. Relief says supplied. Relief says supported. Relief says the end has been. And when the body receives relief, the subconscious receives more than a word. It receives the state of the fulfilled desire. That is why relief is so direct. It bypasses complicated imagery. It does not require great detail. It touches the exact emotional fruit of the wish fulfilled. If the thing you desire would make you feel relieved, then relief is the fruit. Take the fruit in imagination, and the tree must grow in the world. If the debt settled would give relief, if the money arrived would give relief, assume relief. If the opportunity given would give relief, assume relief. If the pressure ended would give relief, assume relief. If the matter handled would give relief, assume relief. Then let the law produce the reason. This is not waiting, this is commanding. Not commanding with noise, but commanding with state. Relief commands by implying completion. Relief says to the deep mind, the thing is fulfilled. And the deep mind, taking that instruction, begins to build the outer explanation. Now, if the old mind says, but I have no reason to feel relief, answer softly, the state is the reason. If it says, but the thing is not done outwardly, answer softly, it is done in consciousness. If it says, but I do not know how, answer softly, the bridge is forming. If it says, but what if I am only imagining, answer softly, imagination. Do not argue long. Too much argument wakes the old state. Give the answer and return to the feeling. It is already handled. Return. I am provided for. Return. Money comes naturally. Return. The bridge is forming. Return. The law works in silence. Return. This gentle return is how the command deepens. You are teaching the mind that it no longer has to live by the old alarm. You are teaching the body that it can sleep before proof. You are teaching the subconscious that relief is now the accepted state, and the subconscious, receiving relief, begins to seek its correspondence. Think of relief as the fragrance of fulfillment. Before the visible flower appears, you carry the fragrance. The fragrance tells you what is growing. In the same way, relief tells the subconscious what must be made visible. It says, the answer is here. It says, the burden is lifted. It says, provision has entered. It says, this is the end we are now accepting. Perhaps tonight the relief is very small. Let it be small. A small flame is still fire. A small seed is still life. A small release is still a change in state. If you can feel even one quiet moment of "it is handled," you have touched the state. Return to that moment. Let it lengthen. Let it become more familiar. Let it become the place where you fall asleep. It is already handled. Perhaps you feel the breath leave the body more softly. It is already handled. Perhaps the shoulders lower. It is already handled. Perhaps the chest stops gripping. It is already handled. Perhaps the heart believes for 1 second that tomorrow need not be feared. That 1 second matters. In the state akin to sleep, 1 second of accepted relief can go deeper than many minutes of anxious repetition. The deep does not require noise, it requires impression. Now, my friend, let the old demand for luxury become quiet. Wealth may include beautiful things, yes. Wealth may include comfort, freedom, choice, and expansion. But tonight, in this sleep work, do not try to rise by force into a feeling too far from where the body can follow. Begin with relief. Relief is near. Relief is tender. Relief is the first breath of wealth for one who has been carrying pressure. Relief says, the body of the fulfilled one rests differently. It does not chase. It does not beg. It does not force. It receives. It sleeps. It trusts the seed. It allows the bridge. It lets the law work unseen. This is why relief is not passive. Relief is the inner sign that the state has changed from lack to completion. It is already handled. This is completion. It is already handled. This is provision. It is already handled. This is the state. And now, as night deepens, let the command become even softer. Let it move beneath the words. Let the body feel the answer. Instead of thinking about the problem, the payment is made. The letter arrives. The debt is settled. The opportunity is given. The pressure ends. The body exhales. And in that exhale, the deeper mind receives the end. The event would have created relief. Relief assumed can create the event. This is the law. The outer would have produced the inner. The inner can now produce the outer. This is the reversal. This is the command. This is why tonight you do not wait for relief as though it belongs only to tomorrow. You enter relief tonight. You enter the feeling that the matter is already handled. You enter the soft exhale of completion. You let the body become the body of one supplied. You let the heart become the heart of one supported. You let the mind become the mind of one who no longer needs to know every road. It is already handled. I am already provided for. Money comes naturally. The bridge is forming. The law works in silence. The pressure ends. The body exhales. Relief is not merely comfort tonight. Relief is command. Relief is the emotional heart of reprogramming. Relief is the state of the wish fulfilled made gentle enough for sleep. Relief is one of the most direct ways to command wealth into form. And now, my friend, there is no more effort to make. There is no more argument to win. There is no more door to force open by the hands of the waking mind. Let the outer world grow quiet. Let the day recede. Let the old questions fall farther and farther away, as though they belonged to another room, another hour, another self. Tonight, the command is not shouted. Tonight, the command is received. The command is received. I am already provided for. Money comes naturally. Let those words move slowly now. Let them become less like thought and more like atmosphere. I am already provided for. Money comes naturally. I do not need to chase the outer form. I do not need to beg the world for proof. I do not need to force a road to appear before I sleep. The command is received, and the deeper mind knows what to do. I am supplied now. I am supported now. The way is open. It is handled. The seed is planted. The bridge is forming. The law works in silence. Let this be enough. Let the mind no longer seek many reasons. Let the heart no longer require visible proof before it rests. The command is received. The command is received in the quiet. The command is received beneath the surface. The command is received where the old story once lived. The command is received, and a new story begins to write itself in the deep. I do not chase. I do not beg. I do not force. I receive. I receive the state of being provided for. I receive the feeling of supply. I receive the quiet knowledge that the way is open. I receive the truth that money comes naturally to the state I occupy. I receive without strain. I receive without fear. I receive without needing to know every channel. I receive because I am no longer standing outside the door. I receive because I have entered the state. I sleep in the command. I sleep in wealth. I sleep in provision. I sleep in the quiet assumption that it is already handled. I sleep in the knowing that the seed is planted. I sleep in the trust that the bridge is forming. I sleep in the peace that the law works in silence. I sleep not as the old financial self, not as the one who waits, not as the one who fears, not as the one who begs, but as the one already provided for. The command is received. I am already provided for. Money comes naturally. I am supplied now. I am supported now. The way is open. It is handled. The seed is planted. The bridge is forming. The law works in silence. Let the body hear this now. Let the shoulders hear it and soften. Let the jaw hear it and loosen. Let the breath hear it and widen. Let the chest hear it and release. Let the hands hear it and rest. Let the forehead hear it and smooth. Let the heart hear it and feel less hunted. The command is not only in the mind now, it is becoming the atmosphere of the body. It is becoming sleep. I do not chase, I do not beg, I do not force, I receive. I do not chase money because money is not my master. I do not beg life because life reflects the state I occupy. I do not force the bridge because the bridge is forming in ways I do not need to see tonight. I receive. I receive by assuming. I receive by resting. I receive by sleeping in the command. I receive by letting the deep mind take the seed. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Again, more slowly. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. Again, more slowly. I am already provided for, and money comes naturally. The command is received. The command is no longer far from me. The command is no longer a phrase above me. The command is descending into me. It is entering the hidden chamber. It is entering the place where old fear once repeated itself. It is entering the place where lack once seemed natural. It is entering the place where money once felt distant. And now in that same place a new law is being impressed. I am supplied now, not someday. Now I am supported now, not after proof. Now the way is open, not when I understand it. Open now, it is handled, not when the mind can explain it. Handled now, the seed is planted, not waiting to be planted. Planted now, the bridge is forming, not by my strain. Forming now, the law works in silence, not later. Now, in silence. Let the silence become friendly. Let the silence no longer feel empty. Silence is where the law works. Silence is where the seed rests. Silence is where the bridge forms. Silence is where the subconscious receives without argument. Silence is where the command becomes flesh. The world may be quiet, but the law is not idle. The room may be still, but the deep is receiving. The body may be resting, but consciousness is cause. I sleep in the command. I sleep in wealth. I sleep in provision. I sleep in the state of being already provided for. I sleep in the state where money comes naturally. I sleep in the state where the way is open. I sleep in the state where the burden is handled. I sleep in the state where the seed is planted. I sleep in the state where the bridge is forming. I sleep in the state where the law works in silence. I wake as the one provided for. I wake as the one supplied. I wake as the one supported. I wake as the one who does not return to the old command. I wake as the one who remembers the state. I wake as the one who moves naturally through the bridge. I wake as the one for whom money comes naturally. I wake as the one who has slept in wealth. It is done. Let those three words become a pillow for the mind. It is done. Let the body sink into them. It is done. Let the old question dissolve in them. It is done. Let the bridge form beneath them. It is done. The command is received. I am already provided for. Money comes naturally. I am supplied now. I am supported now. The way is open. It is handled. The seed is planted. The bridge is forming. The law works in silence. And now the command may grow simpler. The mind does not need to hold so much. The deeper self understands. The subconscious receives the feeling behind the words. The command is received. I am provided for. Money comes naturally. It is handled. The bridge is forming. I sleep in wealth. I wake in wealth. It is done. I am provided for. Money comes naturally. It is handled. The bridge is forming. I sleep in wealth. I wake in wealth. It is done. Again, softly, as though the words were being carried on the breath. I am provided for. Money comes naturally. It is handled. The bridge is forming. I sleep in wealth. I wake in wealth. It is done. Do not force the rhythm. Let the rhythm find you. Let the words come as a tide. Let them come in and let them go out. Let them repeat themselves in the deeper mind without effort. I am provided for. Money comes naturally. It is handled. The bridge is forming. I sleep in wealth. I am provided for. Money comes naturally. It is done. If a thought comes, let it pass. I am provided for. If an old fear comes, let it pass. Money comes naturally. If the mind asks how, let it pass. The bridge is forming. If the mind asks when, let it pass. The seed is planted. If the mind asks whether it is working, let it pass. The law works in silence. The command is received. I am already provided for. Money comes naturally. The old self does not need to be carried further. The old self may rest now. The old self may dissolve now. The one who was always trying, always reaching, always fearing tomorrow, may lay down the burden. There is no need to hate the old self. There is no need to fight the old self. The old self was only a state, and now a new state is being worn into sleep. I am supplied now. I am supported now. The way is open. It is handled. The old command fades. The new command is received. The old command said, I am behind. The new command says, I am provided for. The old command said, money is hard. The new command says, money comes naturally. The old command said, I must chase. The new command says, I receive. The old command said, I am unsafe. The new command says, I am supported now. The old command said, I do not know how. The new command says, the bridge is forming. The old command said, I cannot rest. The new command says, the law works in silence. And now the new command is received. I am provided for. Money comes naturally. It is handled. The bridge is forming. I sleep in wealth. I wake in wealth. It is done. Let the phrase, I am provided for, become more than words. Let it become the room you sleep in. Let it become the garment you wear. Let it become the warmth around the heart. Let it become the softness in the breath. Let it become the quietness in the mind. I am provided for. The words do not need to be loud. They need only be accepted. I am provided for. I am provided for. I am provided for. Money comes naturally, not by strain. Money comes naturally, not by fear. Money comes naturally, not by begging. Money comes naturally, because I am in the state of supply. Money comes naturally because I have stopped sleeping in need. Money comes naturally because the command is received. Money comes naturally because consciousness is cause and money is effect. Money comes naturally because the way is open. Money comes naturally because the bridge is forming. Money comes naturally because the law works in silence. It is handled. Let the body exhale. It is handled. Let the shoulders soften. It is handled. Let the chest release. It is handled. Let the mind stop chasing tomorrow. It is handled. Let sleep come closer. The bridge is forming. Even now, the bridge is forming. In silence, the bridge is forming. Without my supervision, the bridge is forming. Through roads I do not need to know tonight, the bridge is forming. While I rest, the bridge is forming. While I sleep, the law works in silence. Let the silence be trusted. The law works in silence. Let the unseen be trusted. The law works in silence. Let the seed be trusted. The law works in silence. Let the command be trusted. The law works in silence. Let sleep be trusted. I do not chase. I do not beg. I do not force. I receive. I receive the answer in consciousness. I receive the feeling of provision. I receive the quiet authority of I am. I receive the command. I receive the state. I receive the peace. I receive the supply. I receive the wealth that begins within and must become visible without. I sleep in the command. I sleep in wealth. I sleep in provision. I sleep in the quiet truth that I am already provided for. I sleep in the quiet truth that money comes naturally. I sleep in the quiet truth that the way is open. I sleep in the quiet truth that it is handled. I sleep in the quiet truth that the seed is planted. I sleep in the quiet truth that the bridge is forming. I sleep in the quiet truth that the law works in silence. And when I wake as the one provided for. I do not wake as the old lack. I do not wake as the old fear. I do not wake as the old chase. I wake as the one provided for. I wake as the one supplied. I wake as the one supported. I wake as the one whose bridge is forming. I wake as the one for whom money comes naturally. I wake as the one who slept in the command. It is done. Now let the words become fewer. The command is received. I am provided for. Money comes naturally. The way is open. It is handled. The bridge is forming. I sleep in wealth. I wake in wealth. It is done. Again with more space. The command is received. I am provided for. Money comes naturally. The way is open. It is handled. The bridge is forming. I sleep in wealth. I wake in wealth. It is done. Again, softer. The command is received. I am provided for. Money comes naturally. It is handled. The bridge is forming. I sleep in wealth. I wake in wealth. It is done. Let the spaces between the phrases become wide and peaceful. The space is not empty. The space receives. The space allows. The space deepens the command. The space lets the body sleep. The space lets the subconscious take what the conscious mind no longer needs to hold. The command is received. I am provided for. Money comes naturally. It is handled. The bridge is forming. I sleep in wealth. I wake in wealth. It is done. If you drift now, drift in provision. If sleep comes now, sleep in the command. If the words fade now, let the feeling remain. The deeper mind knows. The command is received. I am already provided for. Already provided for. Money comes naturally. 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 No chase. No begging. No force. Only receiving. Only resting. Only being. I am supplied now. Supplied now. I am supported now. Supported now. The way is open. Open now. It is handled. Handled now. The seed is planted. Planted now. The bridge is forming. Forming now. The law works in silence. In silence. In silence. In silence. Let the body sink into this. Let the mind release the last need to know. Let the heart stop standing guard. Let the night receive you as one provided for. Let sleep receive you as one supplied. Let the subconscious receive the command as law. The command is received. I am provided for. Money comes naturally. It is handled. The bridge is forming. I sleep in wealth. I wake in wealth. It is done. Now, my friend, there is nothing to correct. There is nothing to repair. There is nothing to chase in the dark. The old self may have believed that effort was safety, that worry was wisdom, that need was command. But now the deeper self knows. The command is not need. The command is state. The command is I am clothed in provision. The command is I am resting in wealth. The command is I am receiving before the visible form appears. I am provided for. This is the state. Money comes naturally. This is the flow. It is handled. This is the relief. The bridge is forming. This is the trust. I sleep in wealth. This is the seal. I wake in wealth. This is the continuation. It is done. This is the law fulfilled in consciousness. I do not chase. Let the chase dissolve. I do not beg. Let the begging dissolve. I do not force. Let the forcing dissolve. I receive. Let receiving remain. I receive quietly. I receive naturally. I receive as one who belongs to supply. I receive as one who is remembered by life. I receive as one who no longer stands outside the door. I receive as one for whom money comes naturally. I receive as one whose bridge is forming, whose seed is planted, whose law is working in silence. The command is received. The command is received. The command is received. I am already provided for. I am already provided for. I am already provided for. Money comes naturally. Money comes naturally. Money comes naturally. The way is open. The way is open. The way is open. It is handled. It is handled. It is handled. The seed is planted. The seed is planted. The seed is planted. The bridge is forming. The bridge is forming. The bridge is forming. The law works in silence. The law works in silence. The law works in silence. Let each repetition become softer than the last. Let the words become a slow river. Let the river carry the old fear away. Let the river carry the command into the deep. Let the river become sleep. I sleep in the command. I sleep in the command. I sleep in the command. I sleep in wealth. I sleep in wealth. I sleep in provision. I sleep in provision. I sleep in provision. I sleep in provision. I wake as the one provided for. I wake as the one provided for. It is done. It is done. It is done. And now softer still, provided for. Money comes naturally, handled, bridge forming, sleep in wealth, wake in wealth, done. Again, provided for. Money comes naturally, handled, bridge forming, sleep in wealth, wake in wealth, done. Again, provided for. Money comes naturally, handled, bridge forming, sleep in wealth, wake in wealth, done. Let the words become almost dreamlike now. The command does not need to be held tightly. The deeper mind is holding it. The subconscious is receiving it. Sleep is carrying it. The law is working in silence. I am provided for. Money comes naturally. It is handled. The bridge is forming. I sleep in wealth. I wake in wealth. It is done. I am provided for. Money comes naturally. It is handled. The bridge is forming. I sleep in wealth. I wake in wealth. It is done. I am provided for. Money comes naturally. It is handled. The bridge is forming. I sleep in wealth. I wake in wealth. It is done. I am provided for. Money comes naturally. It is handled. The bridge is... The heart rests as support. The mind rests as trust. The self rests as wealth. The command is received. I am not waiting. I am. I am not chasing. I receive. I am not begging. I assume. I am not forcing. I rest. I am not outside. I am within. I am provided for. Money comes naturally. The way is open. It is handled. The bridge is forming. The law works in silence. I sleep in the command. I sleep in wealth. I sleep in provision. I wake as the one provided for. It is done. Let the command deepen with it. Let sleep come closer. Let the old need to remain awake and watch the seed dissolve. The seed does not need watching. The seed needs the soil. The command does not need anxiety. The command needs acceptance. You have given the command. It is received. The seed is planted. The bridge is forming. The law works in silence. I sleep. I sleep in the state. I sleep in the end. I sleep in the command. I sleep in wealth. I sleep in provision. I sleep in the quiet certainty of being already provided for. I sleep in the naturalness of money coming. I sleep in the relief of it being handled. I sleep in the trust of the bridge forming. I sleep in the silence of the law. I wake as the one provided for. It is done. Now less thought, more sleep, less reaching, more receiving, less effort, more being, less fear, more provision, less question, more command. The command is received. I am provided for. Money comes naturally. The bridge is forming. I sleep in wealth. I wake in wealth. It is done. The command is received. I am provided for. Money comes naturally. The bridge is forming. I sleep in wealth. I wake in wealth. It is done. The command is received. I am provided for. Money comes naturally. The bridge is forming. I sleep in wealth. I wake in wealth. It is done. Let the words slow even more. Let the silence hold them. Let the subconscious continue them. You do not need to continue with effort. The deeper self continues. The deeper self knows. The deeper self receives. I am provided for. Money comes naturally. It is handled. The bridge is forming. I sleep in wealth. I wake in wealth. It is done. I am provided for. Money comes naturally. It is handled. The bridge is forming. I sleep in wealth. I wake in wealth. It is done. And now the command may become only feeling. Provided for. Natural money, handled, bridge forming. Wealth sleep, wealth waking. Done, provided for. Natural money, handled, bridge forming. Wealth sleep, wealth waking. Done, provided for. Natural money, handled, bridge forming. Wealth sleep, wealth waking. Done, no chase, no begging, no force, receiving, resting, sleeping, being. No chase, no begging, no force, receiving, resting, sleeping, being. The command is received. I am provided for. Money comes naturally. The way is open. It is handled. The bridge is forming. The law works in silence. I sleep in wealth. I wake in wealth. It is done. The command is received, and I no longer disturb it. The seed is planted, and I no longer dig it up. The bridge is forming, and I no longer demand to see every stone. The law works in silence, and I no longer require noise. I sleep now in the command. I sleep now in provision. I wake as the one provided for. It is done. It is done. It is done. The command is received. I am already provided for. Money comes naturally. I am supplied now. I am supported now. The way is open. It is handled. The seed is planted. The bridge is forming. The law works in silence. I do not chase. I do not beg. I do not force. I receive. I sleep in the command. I sleep in wealth. I sleep in provision. I wake as the one provided for. The command is received. I am provided for. Money comes naturally. It is handled. The bridge is forming. I sleep in wealth. I wake in wealth. It is done. Again, softer still. The command is received. I am provided for. Money comes naturally. It is handled. The bridge is forming. I sleep in wealth. I wake in wealth. It is done. Let this become the final inward rhythm, not the rhythm of worry, not the rhythm of need, not the rhythm of counting, chasing, fearing, or asking how. The rhythm of wealth, the rhythm of provision, the rhythm of the command received. I am provided for. Money comes naturally. The bridge is forming. I sleep in wealth. I wake in wealth. It is done. I am provided for. Money comes naturally. The bridge is forming. I sleep in wealth. I wake in wealth. It is done. I am provided for. Money comes naturally. The bridge is forming. I sleep in wealth. I wake in wealth. It is done. I am provided for. Money comes naturally. The bridge is forming. The old self is becoming distant. The deeper self is receiving. The command is received. I am provided for. Money comes naturally. It is handled. The bridge is forming. I sleep in wealth. I wake in wealth. It is done. Sleep may take the words now. Sleep may take the state now. Sleep may take the seed now. Sleep may take the command now. There is nothing to hold by effort. The law works in silence. The command is received. I am provided for. Money comes naturally. The bridge is forming. I sleep in wealth. I wake in wealth. It is done. The command is received. I am provided for. Money comes naturally. The bridge is forming. I sleep in wealth. I wake in wealth. It is done. The command is received. I am provided for. Money comes naturally. The bridge is forming. I sleep in wealth. I wake in wealth. It is done. It is done. It is done. The command is received. I am provided for. Money comes naturally. The bridge is forming. I sleep in wealth. I wake in wealth. It is done. It is done.